Hello, everybody. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks so much for tuning in to your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. I'm your host, Moxie, and I am currently on hold with Comcast Cable for, 162 minutes. 162 minutes. They're telling me that I can only record now. They're saying, right, so when we ordered the Comcast cable boxes, we spent a long time getting it right, and it cost a lot of money, and we have two DVRs that can each record 6 channels simultaneously and store up to 1,000 hours of videos of your shows, right? So again, I've been on hold for 170 minutes. In 10 minutes, that will be 180 minutes, which would be 3 hours. And okay, so when we ordered it, they said we could have 6 channels per DVR. We have 2 DVRs, 6 channels simultaneous recording, so we can record 12 channels at the same time, right? And and now they're saying, oh, well, you're only supposed to be able to record 3 channels. And I don't know if it's 3 channels total or what. And they're also saying, and your DVR will only be able to hold 20 hours of video. Okay. That's 1/10 of the current amount of video that I record every day. 1/10. So, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm working on it. I'm not going to, I've been on hold for 3 fucking hours. And I'm not going to just give up now. And I will put it on the speakerphone, and I will tell the guy that we're live on YouTube with 4,600 plus viewers. And that, he doesn't know who the fuck he's fucking with. Yeah, just hang up after 3 hours of waiting. That makes sense. And let them have their way. Is that right? Is that what you do, doctor? Yeah, I know, right? Someone's rubbing their nipples. I hear that. That's what I keep flashing to, is South Park, going, oh, that's too bad. I guess you'll just have to order the other cable company. Oh, that's right, there isn't one, is there? So that's where I'm at. I have videos available. If you guys want to see videos, I got videos available here for everybody, because that's what I do. Unfortunately, they are all coronavirus related. So, which I can't take it. I can't take the coronavirus. I can't take the politicians. I can't take, the whole time I've been doing this live, I mean, not live, but the whole time I've been doing this YouTube, and long before that, I have been about no fear. Don't give in to the fear. Fight the fear. Don't let the anger in. Don't let the hate in. And now it's all fear, 24/7. You can't leave your home, okay? Those caught out after curfew will be shot. Is this thing on? Can you people hear me? Well, I don't really have to put my They Live sunglasses on, because this outfit that I wear right now that you see, this is This is this works just fine to be able to tell who the cool people are. If you look like this, you can tell who the cool people are pretty fast. And who the not cool people are pretty fucking fast. They make it real clear real fast. It's just who they are. They go, oh, look at this guy. You go, hey, there's a not cool one. Right? You guys hear what I'm saying? Every fucking 15 seconds. Thank you for continuing to hold. Oh my God. Every fucking... We want to give you the same valuable service that we're giving the other people on the phone. Did they have to hold for 3 hours too? What's it say? 1 hour and 67 minutes and 57 seconds. I'm trying not to put the music out over the fucking stupid microphone. Otherwise, I just put it on speakerphone. But they have this retardo hold music. Please hold so that we can continue to give you the same special attention. Thank you for continuing. And then they go to music for 5 seconds and then thank you for continuing to hold over and over again for 3 fucking hours. I mean, 15 seconds and they say thank you for continuing to hold. Every 15 seconds for 3 fucking hours? Are they trying to make people crazy? Right? Because they gotta be trying to make people crazy. Bad enough you gotta be on hold. But then they gotta do this bullshit with thank you for continuing to hold. Every 15 fucking seconds. So I really want to put this guy on speakerphone, or this person on speakerphone, when they get on the fucking line 3 hours later, and tell them that we're on a live YouTube feed right now, and that I'm a news archivist, and that they're going to limit me to 20 hours of recording on the Comcast box. Is that right? Which is 1/10 of the amount of recording that I do currently every day. And I'm supposed to work with that, which is, and they said we could record like 1,000 hours of video when we got the boxes, and now all of a sudden it's 20 hours and 3 channels. No discussion. Well, that's not what I'm paying for. That's not what we agreed to, and whatever the fuck you think is going on, I've been on hold for 3 fucking hours, and I am disgusted. So, your account will be answered by the next available account executive. Yeah, right. I've only heard that one now for 3 hours. Okay, so let's see. I hope everyone is doing well. The governor of Washington State, in case you didn't see the video I posted 10 minutes ago, the governor of Washington State has just announced a stay home, stay healthy order, basically shelter in place. It says you can go for walks on a beautiful spring day. Well, but that's what people are doing. And this is why he's issuing the order, because people are going for walks down to the beach on a beautiful day. And he sees all these people down at the beach, and he's like, oh, what the hell are you doing? You people need to stay at home. You said we could go out on a beautiful spring day. We're doing what you said, dipshit. Fucking Jay Inslee, man. Don't get me started on fucking Jay Inslee. There's my girl. Hi, my girl, laying down by the river. What a pretty girl down by the river. We'll be with you in just a moment. Can you imagine how irritating that would be 3 hours later? We'll be with you in just a moment. Thank you for continuing to hold. That's not good. We'll have to do something about that right now. Stop touching your face. Why you keep touching your face? Don't kick the baby. Don't shoot the baby. Ooh, we need to do bong hits, huh? That does sound pretty good. Don't shoot the baby. Ah, well, excuse me. Oh, look, there's someone here. Who is this? Hello, caller.
Michael.
Yes.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Pete?
It is.
Pete, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Just pumping up my dry herb vape right now.
Really?
Yep. I got some later out, so.
What kind of vape you got?
It's a dry herb vape.
Oh.
So, I'm pretty much just vaping all the keef that was left in my coffee grinder after I just made this last batch out of them. So, it's pretty good.
That sounds like a good plan, Pete. So, how is life in Rhode Island?
Well, we got the order on Sunday night for the non-critical workers to stay home.
And are you a critical worker or a non-critical worker?
I gotta be on site occasionally, but I can work from home.
Oh, that's cool.
About half the time, so yeah. Sorry, I'm just puffing on my thing. It takes like a minute to take a hit out of this thing.
It's all good. So, is there? Are you having trouble finding toilet paper?
I'm lucky. I actually stocked up on like a Cottonelle six roll, so I'm good. I mean, I think I'll be good for a couple months on this.
Excellent. Good job.
Yeah, there is a shortage on paper towels and toilet paper, I noticed. And I'm very lucky, like I just coincidentally just so happened to purchase in bulk like a bunch of that shit. So I got pretty lucky with that. But everything else seems to be pretty well stocked.
That's good. Everything, I mean, not everything. We were at the store, I think, yesterday, and a lot of stuff is low. Some stuff is all cleaned out, like, you know, the toilet paper and stuff. But, like, the chili. I wanted a couple cans of chili. There was no fucking chili. That pissed me off.
Yeah, there was no SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs and meatballs.
Yeah.
That fucking pissed me.
But at least there's water now. So, I mean, when I go to the store, I can get water at least, because that's always important to me. And I think that that's what's happening, really, is it? I mean, after a couple of days of people, you know, filling their shopping carts as full as they can get them, they're going to be like, oh, we can't buy more stuff. We don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm excited that I get to work from home occasionally, you know, which means that I'll get to, you know, work a little bit less, hopefully. So that's good.
So, Pete, what do you think? Do you think that Tulsi has betrayed her supporters by endorsing Joe Biden?
What's that? Does she have to trade her what?
Her supporters.
I don't know why on earth she chose to endorse Joe Biden, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really give a shit either way. I'm not going to choose to not support Tulsi because she supports Joe Biden. It just kind of boggles me. I don't know. Maybe she thinks that Biden has a better chance than Bernie. You know, maybe she's right about that. I don't know. Because the whole socialism thing with Bernie really freaks people out. So I don't know.
I look. The only reason I could see to do it is if he's like somehow said that he really wants her to be part of his White House. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I just don't get it. And even then, it seems like it's you know, like it's she the whole time. From day one, she was this anti-war. Iraq war was evil, and we have to, get our people home. And she knows it. He was, he helped George Bush go into Iraq. If George Bush didn't have the help of people like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton to go into Iraq, he probably wouldn't have been able to do it. And so I can't, I can't like just give him a pass on that, And I don't see how she can, after she tells us how over and over again how about her brothers and sisters being put into harm's way. You know what I mean? It's just really difficult for me.
Well, there may just be a lesser of a two evil type of situation.
Well,
some people think that Bernie doesn't stand a fucking chance against Trump.
Right. Well, but Bernie didn't stand a chance against Hillary either, and she stepped down from the DNC chair and endorsed Bernie. Because she didn't like the way he was treated, and she didn't like what they were doing with Hillary and all this stuff. And then she goes after Hillary. It seems like all of a sudden now she's buddy with the establishment, and it bothers me.
Really? Because she endorses Biden?
Yes, of course, dude. Biden. Look again. Biden did these crime bill things. Biden. But to me, the most important thing is when he had the chance to stop from going to war in Iraq, he chose to help George Bush go to Iraq, which was all lies. And everyone knew it. There was millions of people in the streets in the United States saying, "Do not go to Iraq." He don't give a fuck. And it's on aluminum tubes. He knew what was happening and gave George Bush the go-ahead to murder 1 million innocent people. Go ahead.
Yeah, just because she endorses Joe Biden doesn't necessarily mean that she supports him. Maybe she just doesn't want to see Trump get reelected, and she just thinks that, she would rather see Biden than Trump get reelected because she doesn't think Bernie's going to win. And I don't, I can understand that opinion.
I cannot. I do not see how anyone can possibly think that Joe Biden is an electable individual when you look at his record. And then you bring in the creepy Uncle Joe shit. It's just not possible to think that he's more electable than anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, once.
In my opinion, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I don't know, but maybe she has a different opinion. I don't know.
Her opinion is that if she doesn't, her opinion, again, unless Joe Biden has somehow said, "I want you to be a big part of my White House," the only reason she possibly could have gone there is because the establishment got to her and said, "If you do not endorse Joe Biden, you are through."
Well, yeah. Well, then, if she wants to continue to have a career in politics, then she's going to endorse Joe Biden.
Yeah, I guess if that's, but the question isn't about whether she wants to have or why she did this. The question is, did she backstab her supporters by doing this? Because we all knew that she supported Bernie in 2016, and now somehow she jumps to Joe Biden. Doesn't make any sense, and it seems to be a betrayal to her supporters. and her fucking integrity, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? Fuck Tulsi then. Fuck that bitch.
Well, I don't want to say that
Fuck that
about
fucking
anybody.
volcano
I want
blows
to
right up
like,
on the
I want to like all these people. It's that how can you do it again when you know Joe Biden has the blood of 1 million innocent Iraqis on his hands, and then you listen to Tulsi talk about nothing other than putting our brothers and sisters into harm's way, and she didn't ever say our brothers and sisters, which really bothered me. She always said my brothers and sisters. Well, it's not your brothers and sisters, all of our brothers and sisters into harm's way, and a war of choice based on lies to murder 1 million innocent Iraqis, and Joe Biden did, instead of trying to prevent it, did everything he could to help George W. Bush. And now she's supporting him. I don't get it, and I'm not going to let it just slide, you know.
Well, politics is a dirty, dirty game, Mike, and I don't know. Maybe sometimes people just got to play ball. You got to play ball, especially when you're a politician. You don't really have a choice sometimes. Maybe it's one of those kind of things, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. I get it.
I would say overall, her record and her performance, would indicate that she's actually, she actually, what she says and what she believes in, she actually follows through on, So, she stands by her word, So,
see, this is the thing, okay? Is it her word? That's what I'm telling you. This is the part I don't understand. Is that I always thought that she was a person of her word, and then she acts like, her whole campaign is about this, wars of choice, for regime change, and putting our brothers, my brothers and sisters, into harm's way, and then this guy is directly responsible for that shit. And the White House that he was part of, didn't do anything different. And now she supports him. It doesn't make sense to me, dude. It does not compute. Again, unless it's some kind of a career thing, she's getting offered a job in the White House, in the Joe Biden White House. Then it would make sense that she would support him. Although, I still have a problem.
Very likely, yeah.
I still have a problem with it.
There could be any range of motives, Mike. But I don't know. But there's things about Bernie that are fucking annoying.
Yeah,
I like Bernie, but there's things about him that are annoying, and there's things about him that make me think that he may not be able to beat Trump.
Yeah. Well, this thing where he can't fucking land a punch really bothers the fuck out of me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You said it right there. And I don't know, maybe some people just feel like, even though Biden, obviously no one thinks Biden's the perfect fucking candidate, but it's the fucking lesser of two evils. That's fucking American politics. It's never the best candidate that we want. It's the turd sandwich and the fucking, whatever.
It's just a matter.
And really, it was, it's the turd sandwich. People want the turd sandwich right now, and that's Joe Biden.
I think it makes sense. That makes sense.
The whole fucking socialism thing with Bernie Sanders is really, it irks me too. I don't like it. I hate the whole democratic fucking socialism thing. I'm tired of people talking about socialism. And that's what's going to fuck Bernie over. That's why he's never going to fucking win, because the word socialism in America just fucking, as soon as people hear that word, it's a trigger word, and to be honest, I don't, I'm concerned about, what he would do, because he seems to have more faith in the government than the free market, or I don't know what you would call a free market that we have in America, whatever. But I don't know. I personally don't believe in putting more faith.
Hold on. Hey, Pete, I gotta go. Hey, hold on, Pete, I gotta go. Okay, thanks for calling.
All right.
Okay, talk to you soon. Hello. Yes. What did you say? Hi, Andrew. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm good. So listen, I got a notification in the mail. Okay, first off, Andrew, I put on hold. I waited an hour to get a hold of a Comcast person, and then that Comcast person put me on hold, and then I was on hold for 2 hours more. So we're clear. I've been on the phone for 180 minutes. Okay, now I received a notice in the mail that said that I'm only going to be able to record 3 channels on my DVRs and 20 hours of video. Is that correct?
Let me take a look at your account, my friend. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Craig.
Correct. All right, my friend. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I was in the right account. No, Craig, so it seems that you had a DVR. You should be able to record in up to 120 hours, and you can actually record up to 5 different programs at the same time.
Right. Okay, so I got a notice in the mail. I have 2 DVRs, okay? And we're supposed to be able to record, I thought it was 6 channels. You say it's 5 channels?
Yeah, 5 channels at the same time.
For each DVR, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I have 2 DVRs, okay? And how many hours of video did you say I can record?
120.
120 hours. Okay, because that seems like a lot less than we're recording right now. Actually, I mean that's about how much I record every day.
All right, quite interesting. All right, so did you get these through the mail, like a paper-wise, or through an email?
Through the mail.
All right, that's weird. Yeah, no, you should have that. To be honest, I have not heard about anyone telling me anything like that.
Okay, so the last person that I talked, are you a supervisor, or the last person that I talked to said again that I was only going, that she agreed, and she said that there was a notice, and that now that there was some kind of a new update on the DVRs, and I was only going to be able to record 3 channels and 20 hours of video.
That does not sound right. I have not got any information, but let me check to what I can find.
You're not going to put me on hold for 2 more hours, are you?
No, I won't put you on hold. Don't you worry.
Okay. What's your name?
Andrew.
Okay, Andrew. Thank you. Okay. So, we are now... Okay. Are you still there, Andrew? Okay, so you know, Andrew, I am in the middle of doing a live YouTube broadcast. So, because I do one every night at 7 p.m., it's not because you're special or something that I'm doing it because of Comcast. It's just I've been on hold for 3 hours and I didn't expect that. So, you are part of the show, Andrew, so you know.
Want to be famous?
Something tells me you already are. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and talk, Andrew. You let me know when you got something to tell me, okay?
All right.
Okay. All right, so I have a couple videos here tonight. I have a video about Hong Kong banning alcohol because of the coronavirus, because people refuse to wear their mask once they get drunk. And I have a thing about coronavirus scams. I have a thing about Harvey Weinstein. Well, Harvey Weinstein now has coronavirus, in case anyone's wondering. And it seems to be spreading through the prison system. I have a video about the Pentagon building tent hospitals in Los Angeles and Seattle. And a video about a Boeing worker who died because of the coronavirus. So I will probably go ahead and play one of those for you momentarily. So, and we are taking phone calls. I know Craig had somebody call just a minute ago, but I think, and we had to get Pete off the line so I could talk to Andrew. But I was really glad to hear from Pete because we haven't heard from Pete for like a week or something. I was like, man, I sure hope Pete's okay, And then we got to hear, who we haven't heard from is Michelle. So I'm hoping Michelle is doing good too. And right now we are currently on hold with Andrew from Comcast Cable, and he's trying to make sure what it is that we have, because I received a notice in the mail that said we were only going to be able to record 3 channels and 20 hours of video, and that's like 1/10 of the amount of video I record every day currently. So what's that, Andrew? Okay, good. Yeah, no, I'm a news archivist, and I've been doing this on the YouTube for 15 years and long before that. And this thing where I can only have 20 hours of video is just really messing with me, because that was not the agreement that we originally had. And I don't understand why all of a sudden the agreement seems to be changing without asking me permission.
So I think what's a little bit confused about here is that you pretty much have to wait to record. You have the physical storage on the boxes first, and second you have the cloud DVR. The one, the cloud is going to be, you're supposed to be getting the 20 on the DVR cloud. However, you're supposed to be getting the 120 on the boxes. I'm still double checking on this information, right?
Okay. Okay. So you're still looking into it, Andrew? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to double check on this, right?
Thanks very much for your help. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play a video for you guys, since we are doing some other stuff here for a second. So give me a minute, and I'll play this video about America at war with the thing. Here we go.
All right, thank you, George. Now to the disaster in Europe and sweeping new measures to contain it. Italy is now the new global epicenter, with more than 59,000 cases and more deaths than China. In Spain, more than 29,000 cases, as officials there moved to extend a state of emergency for another 15 days. And in Germany, Chancellor Angela Merkel is self-quarantining as a precaution, where there are also signs of hope out of Asia. We're going to have more on that in a moment, but first, Ian Panels in London with the very latest. Good morning to you, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. That's right. A surge in cases across Europe. In Italy, it's now 2 weeks since it went into almost total lockdown, and yet the number of cases there continues to rise.
This morning, Italy waking to ever tighter restrictions.
All right. Happy birthday. You ready?
Happy
ready?
birthday,
you ready?
Rufus.
You ready? You ready? What's
Happy
happening?
birthday, Sammy.
What's happening?
Ooh, what's that?
What's happening?
Puppuccinos.
Oh,
Puppuccinos.
You gotta get the.
Oh.
Gotta get the Starbucks.
Oh yeah, well, maybe we'll get.
All right, thank you, George.
Sorry.
Now to the
I'm not sure what happened there.
Sweeping new measures to contain it. Italy is now the new global epicenter, with more than 59,000 cases and more deaths than China. In Spain, more than 29,000 cases, as officials there moved to extend a state of emergency for another 15 days. And in Germany, Chancellor Angela Merkel is self-quarantining as a precaution, where there are also signs of hope out of Asia. We're going to have more on that in a moment, but first, Ian Panels in London with the very latest. Good morning to you, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. That's right. A surge in cases across Europe. In Italy, it's now 2 weeks since it went into almost total lockdown, and yet the number of cases there continues to rise.
This morning, Italy waking to ever tighter restrictions on movement. Now, some factories ordered to shut, as the death toll from coronavirus now closes in on 5,500 people, and the number of cases near 60,000. One medic in the hard-hit region of Lombardy saying they're not eating or even going to the bathroom during their shift because they need to preserve their protective gear.
I'm not concerned for myself.
60 hours per device, right? And speaking of the physical storage on the DVR box, is going to be 120 hours.
Okay.
Per box.
Okay.
All right. It did change. It used to be 20 hours. Yes, in the DVR, but that was supposed to be changing. All right.
Okay. So it's changed to 60 hours on the DVR. Is that right?
On the cloud DVR.
Okay. So what's the total amount of hours?
Should be 60 times 2, 120 plus 120, 360 altogether.
Okay. And
So,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the information that I hear that I can see is that on the cloud DVR is full. However, your whole home means that the box that you have is not used. All right.
The what that we have is not used?
The whole home, meaning that the boxes that you physically have with you, with internal storage, have not been used.
Okay.
Because at first you use the DVR space that you have, and they use the physical device.
Okay. So is there something that we need to do to change that?
To change it from DVR to physically?
Well, no, you said that the DVR recording is not recording to the device. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Right. These are the ones right now you've been recording has been through the cloud.
Okay, so, and is there something that we need? So how do we make it so that we can record both? Is it just going to do it automatically, or?
To get that both, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to lie. That will be checked with the tech support team because they're the experts in the boxes. I'll have to switch the settings.
Okay. Okay, so, but we're still going to get 320 or 360 hours. Is that right? To record? And we're going to be able to record 10 channels simultaneously. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is 5 per box plus one you can watch at the same time. So yeah, 5 per box times 2, 10 altogether.
So we do not have the space on the DVR available currently. It's available, but we can't use it. Is that correct?
You should be able to use it the same time you have 683 gigabits. Gigabytes of information where to store all these recordings.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm looking at right now.
So, and that's what I'm saying is you guys are going to cut that storage space way down, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's going to be changing, the cloud DVR.
And I don't understand how that is fair that you're cutting down my available space, and not charging us less money.
And I mean, still going to be able to enjoy on the physical boxes.
Okay.
So I still have the 120 per box list.
Okay. All right, Andrew, is there anything else?
No, my friend, not from my end. You told me.
Okay.
Send some instructions on how to do that.
Okay. Can you send the instructions on how to access the hard drive space on the DVRs? Like how we make them record on the DVRs, or, I mean, are you going to have someone look into that? Because you're saying we're not using that space right now. Is that correct? That's what you said, right?
Right.
And you don't know why we're not using it, and you don't know if it's not turned on or what the deal is. And are you going to have someone looking into that, or what's the deal?
Yeah, no, to get that done personally, I'm not going to waste your time anymore. We'll have to check with the tech support team so they can actually help you with that.
Okay, Andrew.
I'm still familiar with the boxes, right?
Okay. All right, Andrew. Thanks very much for your help.
All right, so allow me to go ahead and transfer you?
To transfer me from where?
To the tech, so they can help you to switch the way it gets recorded.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Alright. So, Trey, tell me, you want me to transfer you, or,
Well, I don't know. Are you gonna put me on hold for more hours, or I mean, what's gonna happen here? Because I'm not sure. I got this notice in the mail, and I'm not sure what you're telling me what's gonna happen, and I still don't understand what's going on, Andrew.
I know, I can completely understand. Well, to check on that, will record directly on the cloud, or to record it on the box. To change that and how to get it done, that's the one I don't know, and that's the one I want to pass you to someone who actually knows about the boxes.
Okay, and do you know they're going to have me on hold for hours?
We shouldn't. Since that the tech support team does not have a great waiting anymore, so we shouldn't wait more than a few minutes.
Okay, Andrew. Thank you.
Alright, you have fun.
All right. Back on hold with the Comcast. Yay. Oh God. Well, at least we're going to be able to record 5 channels per box. That's important because even though it's all COVID-19 all day, every day, it seems like it's less channels than we've been recording. I'm pretty sure. Anybody want to bet that I'm on hold for another hour? Anybody? Anybody? I'll bet you. I'll bet you it takes another hour. Okay. So I guess what we'll do is we will go ahead and play. I hate these clips, you guys. I'm so sorry about the COVID-19 clips because that's like all there is. And hello? So that's like all there is the COVID-19 clips, you know? And it's this fear, endlessly fear. I can take a call anytime, Craig. So it's this, never-ending fear. And I hate to help. I hate to feed into it. I hate to be part of it. I'm really not sure what to do. I'm honestly thinking about, just going full into it, and hello? Hello? Yes, can you speak up? I can barely hear you. Thank you. Okay, so I was just speaking with Andrew about the DVR, about the DVR capability to record. They seemed to, anyways, we got a notice in the mail that said that they were gonna, that we could only record like 3 channels on the DVR, and that they're like changing the amount of space that we have. And apparently the last person that I just spoke with on the phone, after being on hold for 3 hours, told me that that we're not using space that's currently available on the DVR. And that's why he sent me over to you to try and figure out why or how to make it so that space is available. Hello? Okay.
What's your name?
Craig.
Shoreline, is that right?
Yes.
You're calling me from 206-391-2810. That's the best number to call you back at?
Yes.
You have 2 DVRs on your account?
Yes.
I don't see any more space on your DVR.
Yeah, I mean, I record a lot of stuff, so lots and lots of stuff. That's what they said, they're going to cut back the recording time to like 20 hours. I'm like, that's 1/10 of what I record every day.
So when you said that we're not using like the device, I mean, I'm seeing that you run through all of
Okay. I don't know. Andrew said that the last person I talked to said that we're not using the space that's available on the DVR and that I should talk to you, apparently. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I know. I just said I record a lot of stuff. I get that. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Bye. Fucking worthless, man. 3 hours for that. 3 hours to get that fucking stupid conversation. Oh yeah, well you have the ability to. You always had to record on the. Ugh. Well, now we're here. So let's play a video, and I will get a bong hit ready. Or we could take a phone call. Hello, caller.
Michael.
Yes.
You'll have better days.
I had fine days. It was a beautiful day. I went for a nice walk with the dogs. Not a big deal. I just don't want them fucking with the availability to be able to do what it is that I do. And if they're cutting me down to like be able to only record 3 channels and 20 hours of video, I won't be able to do what it is that I do. So.
Well, I was just telling Craig, man, if I had to wait on the phone for 3 hours for some guy transferring me from this department to that department, I'd be screaming at the motherfuckers by now. That's my style. Well, get me my fucking shit. Give me my money back.
Yeah. I just want to be able to do what it is that I do. You know.
This is all backup stuff, right? In case they cancel your YouTube, you still got the shit, right?
Oh, I have everything, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can dig that. Fucking, I don't know, but you got, that's your secondary backup. Your first backup is your personal DVDs, right?
Yeah, I have like 30 hard drives over the 32 terabyte hard drives. They're just full of video.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll all turn out okay as long as you can meet your quota, your daily quota.
Yeah, look, I'm not really worried about it. I just don't want them, fucking with me on shit that, this is not what we agreed to. Okay, we agreed to this, and now all of a sudden you guys change this out of the blue, and we're just supposed to accept it, and it's like a third of what I'm used to doing, having the ability to do. I'm just like, that's not okay, and no discount in the rate. So I mean, what the fuck,
Well, for a minor fee, Michael, I can put a hit out on this Andrew guy for you.
No, Andrew sounded like a good guy. The people that are working aren't the ones that are the problem. I mean, it's not like YouTube where they're they're really trying to help. It seems like, although the 3-hour wait thing is fucking idiotic. But no, I not. That's not my style. I would take care of that kind of business myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to cut in on your territory, man.
Well, if you got to do something like that, you got to make sure the job is done right, and you don't want too many people. Too many fucking hands in the fire is going to really spoil that fucking deal,
A friend of mine is very fond of saying a Sufi is someone who help you bury a dead body, and I know exactly what it means, but so
you can't just leave them out laying around, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But I want COVID-19.
Nah.
So yeah, I mean, you're probably like everyone else on planet Earth. You're completely inundated with COVID-19 stories, and I've been doing some research a little bit, and I'm pretty certain that one of the original stories is a true story. It was not a Pangolian. You know what a Pangolian is?
Pangolin.
Pangolin. Pangolian sounds like a character out of a Star Wars movie. Right?
I was saying Pangolians the other night. Yeah, it totally sounds like something out of a Star Wars movie. And it was making Dwayne crazy because he's like a biologist or whatever, and he knows all about the pangolins. And he's like, that's not how you say their name. I said, what was I saying? He said, pangolins. I said, how do you say it? He said, pangolins. I said, what was I saying? He said, pangolians. Like, yeah, that sounds like something I would say.
Yeah, well, excuse me, I was just smoking a joint. But, yeah, I think what happened is some Chinese scientists in Canada absconded with the coronavirus to China, to Wuhan, and then the Chinese level 4 facility fucked up and accidentally released it into their own fucking population, and then freaked out. And now Wuhan apparently in China has a very low rate of infection. They got the whole thing under control, and they were slow on letting the information out, and they even flipped the script and blamed it on the U.S. And you know what COVID stands for, right?
Nuh-uh.
Chinese origin viral infection disease, number 19. In other words, that's the 19th Chinese origin viral infectious disease that China has originated out of China. So Trump is.
I thought it was 19 because it originated in 2019.
No, that's not what I heard.
Okay.
I heard something different. But
okay.
You could be right. It could be describing the date, but I heard something else. It's the 19th release of infectious disease out of China, originating in China. Chinese origin viral infectious disease. That's what COVID stands for. So Trump was right when he crossed out the something and then put Chinese virus in there. Trump was totally right. And then, so I'm finally, without any fear whatsoever, I'm finally starting to take precautions. And I'm not worried. I'm not in fear. But like we were saying last week, they never ever let a good crisis go to waste. So we're going to see all kinds of shit come out of it, both good and hopefully good, and definitely some bad shit. We're already seeing the bad shit. Anyone who can't see it is a dumb fuck, because your government wants to kill you, basically, or at least they want to tax you until you die. That's it. So our civil liberties are going to pot. People are freaking out. That's almost worse than the virus itself, is all the people freaking out.
The people freaking out is very bad. That's again, and this is what I have done, from day one of this thing, is to try and get people not to fucking freak out, man.
Yeah. I don't see no Walking Dead around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I see empty shelves, and I see people with masks, and it's hard. I had to go to a Palestinian grocery store, by the way, to get some fucking bread today on my way back from a different city. But
the people with masks really irritate the fuck out of me, dude.
They're so slow. I hate that. This old lady's in front of me dicking around with her fucking purse. It's like, get the fuck out of my way. The whole world doesn't revolve around you, old lady. There are people who want to fucking get in and out, shopping. But
yeah.
The old lady, I was like, and then Aunt Matilda came, and it's like, fuck, man. People are just dumb. Everywhere you go, I see dumb people. But so we really got to be vigilant, eternally vigilant about our civil rights, because this is a form of mass entrainment, and they're going to try to cover up the fact that there's so many biological labs all over the world, and what's the purpose of them? Is it military? Is it serving the public? Obviously, it's not serving the public. I think a level 4, somebody else might know, definitely knows better than me, but I think a level 4 lab like the one in Wuhan is supposed to be top of the line. I don't think there's a level 5, but a level 4 is like top security. Nothing's ever supposed to escape there. It has to be certified. So, it will pass. What they're saying about flattening the curve, that just means they don't want to overload the emergency rooms. And it's still unclear whether 30, 40, and 50-year-olds can get this stupid fucking virus as easily as a 60 or 70 or 80-year-old. In any case, if it's your time to get really sick, it's your time to get really sick. So I'm just, and one thing, those hand sanitizers, everybody's fucking probably, I haven't seen it, but I bet everybody's buying hand sanitizers, right?
Yeah. There's a distillery up here that makes vodka, and they've switched to making hand sanitizer instead.
Well, vodka is only, let's see, 80 proof. That means it's 40% alcohol, and they say you need 70% alcohol to kill the virus. And
but they can make 70% alcohol. It's not. I mean, they make vodka, but they're switching over to making hand sanitizer. It's what they're doing.
Okay, well, the alcohol will kill a virus, but the hand sanitizer does not kill viruses. It kills bacteria. That's my point. So you got all these people sweeping all the hand sanitizers off the fucking shelves, and that's for bacteria. It's not going to do shit for a virus. So soap and water actually cleans your hands better. I thought people might want to know that. So I'm doing a little bit of research, but I'm just really going about my daily life, and I'm not in fear. I just wanted to get enough bread for a month's worth of peanut butter sandwiches. It's like I'm telling people to limit their contact, and just so that you don't overload the hospitals, because the worst, I think, is yet to come in America. I think California and your state, Washington, and New York are the 3 American hot spots, and fucking Bill de Blasio's freaking out there in fucking New York. You've seen him. You've seen him on TV.
Bill de Blasio he's been calling for the military to fucking hit the streets for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and everything is Trump's fault, And you got Amy Goodman on Democracy Now! Criticizing Trump for calling it a Chinese virus, when, as far as I know, it's a goddamn 100% Chinese fucking virus. Which was...
But Michael, the truth is at this point that doesn't matter. What really matters is how many more labs are there that are producing viruses, anything similar to this, that could kill every human, and how are we going to get them shut down and fucking neutralized as quickly as possible?
Exactly, because this could have been a Canadian leak or an American leak, just as easy as it was a Chinese leak.
Right.
So the problem isn't the country of origin. The problem is there's biolabs all over the planet. And what do we need them for? What do we need those things for? Maybe somebody can come up with a logical answer for that question, but I don't know the answer to that question yet. Maybe there is some function, but you can't trust your government to not use the weapons available to them. And you can't trust Israel or America. You can't trust America to lift the sanctions on Iran and Venezuela, and you can't trust Israel to give the Palestinians some help. I saw a video today of Israeli soldiers through this sick Palestinian past some gates at the bottom of a cliff at the side of a road because he either had the virus or they thought he had the virus. He was sick. So they, instead of bringing him to an Israeli hospital, they threw his body off the side of a road, and he just laid there for about 5 minutes. That's as long as the video was. So it's hitting Gaza now, and Gaza is the most vulnerable population, despite the fact that in Gaza you have the highest rate of college graduates anywhere in the world. In Gaza, believe it or not, that's all they have to do is go to school and dodge the bombs and the bullets. But they don't have the resources. Their entire medical system, they blew up, 5 hospitals in 2014. And
Yeah.
Nobody's recovered. You got people walking around, amputees, you got hundreds of amputees. They shoot you if you fly a kite at the border or wave a Palestinian flag. They shot people in wheelchairs. They shot them through the heart. So, and they shot that nurse in the head. Or through the heart, I think. But the point is, Gaza's going to be suffering within 2 weeks, and we're just going to sit there and watch them, and with nothing, nobody's going to help them. I mentioned that to a pretty cool Palestinian shop owner right here in my town, a very cool guy.
Yeah.
And he kind of knew that I was on board with what's happening on the ground there, So, so I'm worried about Gaza. I'm worried about Iran. We should immediately lift the sanctions off of Iran and send them fucking help, and Venezuela too. And
they won't take any help from us right now, but they would probably appreciate the sanctions being lifted, I would think.
Yeah. Well, until they lift the sanctions, I wouldn't accept help either.
Well, no, the Supreme Leader yesterday said that, why would we accept help from the Americans when they are the most likely suspect to have released this on the world?
Yeah. I don't quite believe that story.
What story?
But I don't.
Oh, the Americans released it? Yeah.
I don't blame them for saying that, because we fucked Iran around so much, and we fucked Syria around, and the Bolivians, I think, just shut down their parliament, and they're starting to take.
They canceled the presidential election.
Right, which is kind of convenient, huh?
Yeah, very convenient.
Yeah, so never let a good crisis go to waste. So,
and that's what I see happening here too. By the way, the presidential election is off, as far as I can tell at this moment. At this moment, there isn't going to be one.
So Trump's going to be our fucking supreme leader, man. All right, yeah, rock and roll. So I don't know, man. Shit's fucked up. But the point of the matter is, we got to be really on top of our game as citizens and ready to actually go out and challenge the fucking fashion police out there with their shields and, didn't you say something earlier when you were on hold that somebody said they were going to shoot people who disobeyed the shelter-in-place order? That was nobody said that, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. And I haven't heard that. It sounds familiar. It seems like somebody said something like that about. You said something. You said that the guy with the Palestinian that was sick and they shot him at the border or whatever, didn't you?
No. I think it was a Southern governor who said that about 3-4 days ago. But somebody else will be able to pull that up. Chris or somebody can probably verify that. But yeah, some of those hick Southern governors are like, well, if you don't obey the law, we're going to shoot you. It's like, fuck, dude, I'm going to the store, man. Fuck you. I'm not going to. There's no curfew.
Yeah.
You know, we should fight.
Yeah, this shit where they're saying, yeah, you can't assemble in, in groups larger than whatever. That's completely unconstitutional. They can't do that.
Except churches. Because
Yeah.
Jesus will protect us in the churches from the coronavirus, man. So the churches are exempt from that provision or whatever it is, that regulation, unofficial regulation. Oh, it's just a governmental suggestion, actually, which, my middle finger is right up here, baby, right for the government. But I was going to pull something up so I could quote it. What was it? I'm not going to pull it up. I'm going to try to remember it. But I'm stoned, so I can't remember it. So, fuck Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, she betrayed people, man. I'm sorry. I'll remember it in a little bit.
Yeah, I feel really bad about that, too. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, unless Joe Biden says, Tulsi's going to be my VP, or the Secretary of the Pentagon, Defense, other than that, I just see it as she betrayed us completely.
Well, as much as she is in line with my Vedic thinking, she's a fucking statist. So, how can you have a relationship with God or Krishna or whatever if you think the government is the master of the people? Fuck the government, Tulsi Gabbard. Fuck Joe Biden, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Fuck your partisanship, Tulsi Gabbard. Fuck your blindness and your stick in the mud bullshit, Tulsi Gabbard. I can respect you for being anti-war.
Yeah.
But that's almost
But how can you pretend to be anti-war and then support Joe Biden, who couldn't wait to help George Bush murder 1 million innocent Iraqis? I mean, she just went on and on about putting our troops into harm's way based on lies for regime change wars of choice, and Joe Biden, that's exactly what Joe Biden did. He helped make it happen, and then when he was in the White House, they just continued to do that bullshit. Nothing changed.
Yeah, so she's a big disappointment, especially to me. Probably more to me than to you, because I actually thought, surfer chick, Hawaiian, Hindu, Hindu congresswoman, running for president, anti-war. Wow, fucking, this is a dream come true. Then I find out she was both anti-gay and anti-marijuana, and now she's pulled this shit. So her fucking turnaround on the gay stuff and the marijuana stuff was just a cover, I think.
Yeah, I'm really afraid she's one of those wolves in sheep clothing also.
Yeah, sheepdog, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to bring up, I remember it, is the bailout package that the Congress is all stuck over.
Uh-huh.
So apparently, without reading the actual document myself and doing only, maybe 10 minutes of fucking YouTube research, what I know so far is Trump and the Republicans are bailing out the corporations and the airlines and the banks and shit, right?
Uh-huh.
And he promises, the check's in the mail, we're going to have $1,000 per person. And then it was the dumb motherfucking Democrats that hung it up. And that's the official story.
Yeah.
Except what I'm learning is that as dumb as Pelosi is, she's, unless you read the bill, you're not going to know what's in the fucking bill.
Right.
And she's in her own stupid, rich millionaire way, trying to hold out so that most of the money goes to the people and can reach the people immediately, and they're not bailing out the rich. So apparently, as dumb as the Democrats are, and as fucked up and as traitorous as they are, they're traitors. They're all traitors. Democrats, Republicans, all those motherfuckers. They seem to be hanging that bill up so that the money can go directly to the people who file taxes, not me.
Yeah.
It'll come directly to you from the IRS. So the IRS ain't going to send me a check. They're going to send me a bill like they always do.
Yeah.
And that's the hang-up, is Trump is trying to bail out the big business and the corporations, and Pelosi's doing her little dance, trying to get, less money for the rich, apparently, and more money for the little people, which I can understand that position, but I don't trust either side.
Yeah, of course not. They're both full of shit.
Yeah, so the money ain't there's no help coming, people. And you better get ready to go out and either go back to your work, find another job, or shut the shit down, and we'll have Occupy America Part 2.
Yeah. Well, I agree, Michael. You gotta, what we gotta do right now is just try and stay cool. Again, try and stay cool. Don't worry about going back to work and finding work and shit like that. Just stay cool for a couple more weeks and we'll get through it.
Yeah, but the problem is, I agree. No fear. No fear, no matter what happens. But the problem is, today, I think, is the 23rd. Is that the day today?
Yeah.
Yeah, today's the 23rd. 7 days you got bills coming. Everybody's rent is due.
Yeah.
All the
right.
bills.
But we're all in the same boat. So it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like that's not where everybody's at. So again, we'll get through it because I got. Go ahead.
I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the people that don't got 1,000 or 2,000.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I understand that very well.
You got to go, Mike?
I got to go.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, bro.
Okay, thanks for calling, Michael. Good to hear from you. Bye. That's our buddy Michael from Southern California. Craig, hold on just a minute. I want to play a clip, and then we'll take Zach from Ohio, okay? Hold on just a sec. Hong Kong has banned alcohol because of coronavirus.
It's been 2 months since China put coronavirus-stricken Wuhan under lockdown, and health authorities say the spread of the illness is slowing. They reported no new cases in Wuhan's Hubei province for the 5th day in a row. Still, the government is not expected to lift restrictions on the city's residents anytime soon. Thousands of patients are being treated at rapidly constructed hospitals. During the peak of the outbreak, thousands of new cases were confirmed every day. But local media reports suggest the government is beginning to ease the strict measures. In areas where no new infections have been confirmed for more than 14 days, one person per household is reportedly being permitted to leave their home to shop. We spoke to one Wuhan resident who says he's concerned the government isn't giving people the full picture.
They say new infections are at 0, but the authorities' announcement is unnatural. They're trying to avoid a confirmed case as much as possible. I feel the number does not reflect the actual situation. Everyone is skeptical.
Chinese authorities have reported over 81,000 infections on the mainland, but a new report from a Hong Kong media outlet suggests the country is not including tens of thousands of asymptomatic cases. The South China Morning Post says leaked government data suggests more than 43,000 so-called silent carriers had tested positive for the virus as of the end of February. The Hong Kong government says all tourists arriving at its airport will be denied entry and that it is considering suspending the sale of alcohol in the city. Chief Executive Carrie Lam announced this on Monday.
We are going to further prevent imported cases. Hong Kong will try to stop the transmission chain coming from overseas.
She says all non-Hong Kong residents arriving from other places by plane will not be allowed in. Hong Kong residents and people from mainland China, Macau, and Taiwan are not subject to the entry ban if they have not traveled overseas for the past 14 days. The measures will last for 14 days, starting on Wednesday. Lam also said it will require 8,600 restaurants, bars, and clubs to suspend the sale of alcohol as part of measures to prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
People take off their face masks when they drink alcohol at bars and elsewhere, and often talk closely with nearby people.
The Hong Kong government has so far confirmed 356 infections. It has also received reports of people testing positive after visiting entertainment districts. Countries in the Asia-Pacific region have also shut down many non-essential services in a bid to contain the coronavirus. Australia forced the mass closure of theaters, gyms, clubs, and many other businesses. Just before the order came into effect, some regular customers visited an old pub in Sydney to enjoy their last sip of beer.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock and very sad at the same time. Like, it's a traditional thing for us Aussies to have a quiet drink after work. And
the tough new measure comes after the number of cases topped 1,700 nationwide. The Prime Minister says it could take 6 months for Australia to get back to normal. In Thailand, the government has shut its land border with neighboring countries. Leading up to the closure, tens of thousands of people gathered at Bangkok bus stations hoping to cross the border. Many of them are migrant workers who have been left without jobs as commercial venues in and around Bangkok shut down. Only essential businesses remain open. The number of confirmed cases in Thailand surpassed 700 on Monday, 5 times the figure from last week. More cases are being reported outside the capital. Bangkok's governor is urging residents to stay at home and avoid traveling to other parts of the country. In Singapore, authorities have banned all tourists from entering or passing through the country. They say the measure is necessary because nearly 80% of newly confirmed cases came from abroad. Singapore Airlines says it will ground almost all aircraft until the end of April.
Hello. Oh. Okay. So, as I was saying, Hong Kong. Hello, caller. Hold on just a sec. Hong Kong banning alcohol was very interesting, and I wonder how that's going to work out for them. And I wanted to point out to you guys that in Washington State, the rec stores, the cannabis shops, have been deemed essential. So they won't be closing any more than the grocery stores will be closing. So we got that going for us at least. Caller, how are you?
Good. How about you, man?
I'm good. Who is this?
Zach.
Zach, what's going on? Where are you calling from?
Ohio. First time caller.
All right, on. Well, sorry we had to keep you on hold so long, Zach. Thanks for holding. First time caller, are you? Have you seen the show before?
Yeah, a couple times.
Cool. So what's on your mind? What's going on in Ohio, Zach?
Well, they got that shutdown starting tomorrow. They said you're allowed to go to restaurants, and you probably know the list. You're allowed to weed shops, liquor stores, laundromats, all that stuff, exercise. So it's going to be a boring 2 weeks. I know that much.
Could be worse. But you know, I mean, I'm starting a garden.
Oh, wow.
So I recommend, you know, everybody's got this list of things that they wish that they could do if they had the time, you know. I recommend you get that list. I recommend you get that list out, bro.
You know what? That's probably some good advice, to be honest with you. I've kind of just been being lazy. It's kind of still a little bit winter, but I guess I've just been kind of not depressed, but negative lately just because of everything that's going on. So that probably would be good to try to be productive during these times, you know?
Yeah, you gotta try and find stuff. I mean, you have this extra time, I guess, because you're bored. So that's why I'm guessing that you have extra time. So I would think, you know, I mean, find one of these things that you wish that you had time to do, and make it happen, man. It's and, you know, make something good out of it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's easy in Ohio to get, you know, I don't know, not cabin fever, but, you know, it's winter for so long. You get to a different kind of mindset. So it's like everybody just, I just want to be lazy.
Yeah. Well, it's understandable. I mean, I think that's part of being top of the food chain. You know, when you have this big brain, and you know, it's like when you watch the lions, you know, in the jungle. I mean, the lions just kind of lay around and don't do a whole lot, you know, and if they get hungry, we'll go find something to eat, you know. Right? That's what it means to be top of the food chain, dude.
That's funny.
It's the truth. Funny because it's true.
Well, the reason I called was you sound like you're pretty disappointed in Tulsi. I am too. I liked her. You know, she seemed to have a lot of common sense, and she seemed to connect with a lot of people. It's kind of a shame that the media didn't give her the time of day. But anyways, I am kind of disappointed in her that she would go with Biden. I understand she's a Democrat, and, like, you know, Democrats are going to side with Democrats.
Right.
But it is just really disappointing to me because she stands for what seems like to be very different things than what Biden stands for.
Right.
And it's just, it kind of saddens me that she would do that because I think a lot of people, including myself, had, you know, we had some hope in her. We saw some promise in her doing some good things for the regular people, and I don't know. I'm upset that she would back Biden.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she called Biden. Maybe she didn't call Biden out on the stage, but it seems like, you know, she knows this crime bill shit that hurt the people so badly, and she knows, you know, this Iraq war vote where he didn't have to vote for the war in Iraq. You know, he chose to do that. A fucking war based on lies to put our brothers and sisters into harm's way, you know. And you know what? They put those troops in there. They didn't even have fucking body armor. Okay, like half of them didn't even have body armor. It was like a whole big fucking scandal that they rushed the fucking troops into Iraq. They didn't even have fucking body armor and proper fucking gear. And somehow she wants to act like, oh, people make mistakes. People make mistakes, but very rarely when someone makes a mistake do a million innocent people get murdered. Okay?
Yeah, that sounds pretty messed up. Do you think she backed Biden because you think that she has a chance to be the VP for him?
You know, if it is possible, but it seems like that the establishment hates her so much that would be, you know what I mean? That would almost be like Joe Biden for betraying the establishment, you know?
Right, I see. Right.
So I like the idea. I love the idea of her being vice president because, you know, I mean, Joe Biden is kind of, yeah, go ahead.
Would it make sense for her to back Bernie Sanders?
That's what she did in 2016. Did she? Yeah, she was the vice chair at the DNC in 2016, and she stepped down. They wanted her to become the chair of the DNC after the big scandal with Debbie Wasserman Schwartz, and she stepped down and said, citing the way that Bernie Sanders had been treated by them, and then she endorsed Bernie Sanders. So I don't know what the fuck is going on, man.
Yeah, I just got into politics not too long ago. I actually have a fairly interesting perspective on it because I never got into politics until I was 30. I backed Bernie Sanders for a year or two, and then, I was upset that Bernie Sanders backed Hillary Clinton, so I kind of got off the Bernie train.
Right.
I mean, Democrats are going to back Democrats. It just kind of sucks, kind of with the two-party system. But you don't seem to like Biden very much. Is that right?
It's not a matter of not liking Biden, okay? I don't like Trump, and it's not a matter of him being president. It's that I don't like Trump. I've been covering Trump for 15 years on YouTube, and before there was a YouTube, and I never one day of those 15 years liked Trump. I don't like Biden. The thing about Biden isn't that I don't like him, it's that I don't think he's electable. All
right, Max.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said that earlier.
Yeah.
That's another reason I called.
Yeah.
You said he's not electable.
Yeah.
You, me, the American people, everybody in the chat, we all see Joe Biden and how he handles himself. Like you just said, he honestly doesn't appear to be capable of being in that position. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he's not. I don't want him any more in that position than I want Donald Trump in that position.
Okay, well, that was my question.
Yeah.
When I called. If you had a gun to your head, Max, hypothetical question, of course. You had to vote for Biden or Trump. Who do you vote for?
Well, if Tulsi was Biden's vice president, I'd vote for Biden. If
neither of them had?
If Amy Klobuchar was Biden's vice president, I'd say fucking shoot me.
Hey, man, that's a good answer. I think that's a good way to end the call. I'll call you again, man. Thanks for talking to me.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I'm really glad you called, and I look forward to talking to you again, okay?
You too, man. Thanks.
Thank you. And that's the truth. If I had a gun to my head, and it was Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, or Donald Trump and Mike Pence, and you said, you have to pick one or I'm going to shoot you, I'd say, shoot me. Just do it clean. Today is a good day to die. If those are my choices, today is a good day to die. So you know. Alright, so, and that was nice to hear from him. It's always nice to hear from new callers, and I do look forward to talking to him again. He really seemed to enjoy conversing with me. He laughed multiple times. It sounded pretty like he LOL'd pretty well. Alright, so I will play. I gotta drink some fucking water. I gotta get another bottle of water. Hold on. Love water. Okay, so I will play another video for you about coronavirus scams, and I will be right back. I gotta talk to Craig for a minute. I'll be right back.
Justice Department has filed its first enforcement action against alleged coronavirus fraud. It obtained a temporary restraining order yesterday against the website coronavirusmedicalkit.com.
Prosecutors say the site claimed to offer consumers access to vaccine kits from the World Health Organization. It sounds official. There are currently no vaccines to treat this disease. Our consumer investigative correspondent, that's Anna Warner, joins us from her home in Berkeley, California. So, Anna, what exactly did this website claim to offer?
So basically, Gail, this website was claiming to offer vaccine kits from the World Health Organization. They said if you added water, it would work. You'd pay $4.95 in shipping for this kit. Of course, we know that there are no vaccine kits available. The only people doing the tests are state and local labs. And yet there are scammers out there who are trying to convince people, hey, there's something that you can order. You can use it at home. And if you do happen to see one of these kinds of things, you can contact your state attorney general's office, Gail. But no, these are not vaccine kits, and there are none available.
That's such a crappy thing to do to anybody. Are there any approved at-home testing kits anywhere that are legit?
No, there aren't. And I'm really glad you asked that, Gail. I think it's really important to make clear to people there are no at-home testing kits. The FDA has not authorized any home testing kits at all for use. So if you see something that says, hey, you can test yourself at home, it's not a real deal here.
Is the government seeing a lot of these scams, Anna?
So I found something really interesting over the weekend. So Customs and Border Protection has been tweeting out photos of items that it has seized. One of them is sort of like a box of little vials. They showed these pictures on Twitter of things that people are saying are either at-home treatments or they are saying one of them is a treatment kit. The acting commissioner said on Twitter that police in the UK arrested a man for selling those kits. And then the other ones are counterfeit test kits that came through Los Angeles airport. They were labeled as purified water vials. So these are the kinds of things that people who are, you might call them creative or just call them scammers, frankly, are saying, hey, I can make a quick buck off of this, sell something to people. And one of these things, actually, the CBP said had some what might be dangerous ingredients to it. So there are some dangers there, too.
Anna, what are people listening to when it comes to robocalls?
Well, you know, the robocallers have jumped into this. I'm sure you're not surprised to hear this. They are saying, hey, we can clean your home air ducts, your air filters for coronavirus. We also are going to help you with your student loan payments. You've heard that one before. And even the Social Security scammers are jumping in and saying, hey, there's going to be something with the coronavirus and your Social Security number. So be careful about these calls. If you get one of these calls, just hang up.
Be careful. Scammers are going to scam. Anna, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Ahead.
Sorry, I'm back. And I unmuted the mic because Craig could hear you downstairs. You guys were so loud. Craig could hear you downstairs. So I had to mute your mic. There's my girl. Still down by the river. Well, Boo Bear's right here. He's right here. Okay, so I am, let's see, I'm heating up some water. I thought that the coronavirus scams was probably important to see. I thought I had something else, but I don't see it. I have, I want to play this story about the Pentagon building tent hospitals, or that they're prepared to build tent hospitals. I'm not sure that they're doing it yet, but I think that they're setting up shop to begin building them in Washington and New York, I believe. And then I have a story about a Boeing worker that has died from coronavirus also, and some other Euro stuff. I heard Dwayne called, but we missed his call. That's too bad. I didn't see him in the chat room. Did anybody see Dwayne in the chat room? The cops. Whisper. My girl. She's my girl. Okay, so I'm going to play another video here. I'm going to play this one about Pentagon building tent hospitals, and I'm going to go warm up my tea because I started some tea while I was talking to Craig. I'll be right back. Hold on.
The Pentagon says it's preparing to deploy field hospitals to New York and Seattle, two national hotspots of the COVID-19 pandemic. But U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper also says that the global pandemic could impact the military readiness of the U.S. New York is America's worst affected city, where a partial lockdown is already in place. Authorities there say 1,800 patients are hospitalized with the virus. The number of cases nationwide has reached almost 42,000. 573 people in the U.S. have died from the virus. All right, for more now, let's pull in our Washington correspondent, Oliver Sallet. Good afternoon to you, Oliver. The U.S. military will be helping out with medical equipment. Now, is that proof just how desperate the situation in the U.S. is now?
Well, Brand, it shows that the health system is increasingly overwhelmed, in particular in New York City, where Mayor de Blasio said that the city could run out of supplies as soon as next week. So there's a shortage of gowns, of ventilators, of masks, and of course also of hospital beds, in particular in intensive care units. And if you look at New York City, there are 10,000 cases in the city alone. That's 1 out of 4 Americans in New York City. And of course, the military could help here with supplies as well as with makeshift hospitals that are set up right now. But not only there, also President Trump deployed the National Guard to 3 states that are hit the hardest. Among them, of course, New York, Washington, and California. And at the same time, politicians are trying to appeal to the Americans to take this virus seriously, because in spite of New York's lockdown, there were still many people seen in the parks, and New York's Governor Cuomo used a dramatic tone today to describe the situation as the calm before the storm, and that the real corona crisis hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Efforts to advance $1 trillion rescue of the U.S. economy failed again in Congress today, the second time. Oliver, why can't Democrats and Republicans, why can't they agree on such an important measure in a crisis moment?
I might have lost your sound.
Can you hear me now, Oliver? Can you hear me now?
But I will carry on. Well, there is an ideological divide if we're talking about the Democrats and the Republicans that cannot find an agreement in Senate today. It shows very much how strained the relationship is between the two parties. Essentially, the Democrats are demanding that the financial aid that is discussed right now is used to protect workers and to avoid layoffs. And they're alleging the Republicans to put corporations first and not the people. The Republicans say that the Democrats are having unrelated demands, that they want to use tax credits for alternative energies, for instance, with the result that we're looking at a stalemate once again. And that's frustrating for many Americans right now, because, again, the two parties can't cooperate, it seems, even in such a dramatic situation like the one we're looking at right now.
Yeah, it is amazing that they are unable to cooperate when so much is at stake right now. Oliver Sallet in Washington. Oliver, thank you very much.
That guy looked very nervous, didn't he? All right, so where are we at? Okay, so yes, I have been let down by Tulsi. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know why, she all of a sudden seems to embrace the establishment, and I think it's a very sad thing. I think that it's like how many people did Bernie Sanders let down when he endorsed Hillary Clinton? People were like, like Zach was saying, Zach from Ohio was saying, that he was a big Bernie supporter. He wasn't into politics, and then Bernie Sanders came along and was like, wow, this guy is pretty cool, and he supported Bernie, and then Bernie fucking turned around and supported Hillary Clinton, and everybody was like, a lot of people were really hurt from that. A lot of people were, what is happening? We have to have an alternative choice. And if our alternative choice sides with the establishment whores, that we went towards them in the first place, because the reason that we go way out to these guys that are like on the fringes is because of these establishment whores that, you know, that obviously work for the man and represent not a single working class person. So we go, oh wait, listen to this person. They don't sound like, you know, another corporate shill. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they say, oh yeah, but you should support this corporate shill. I'm not a corporate shill, but you can support this corporate shill because I said so. Huh? Right? What? So that's where I'm coming from, and some people have been asking me to do a video about this particular subject. So I thought that we should probably try and all talk about it for a minute, you know, because otherwise it's COVID-19 all day, every day, 24/7, 365. That'll be the name of the show tomorrow night. Mox News Live Self-Quarantining, Day 63. Oh, and you know what? Maybe that's what the channel should become about. It'll just become about self-quarantining and how to keep keep busy and do something fun and I don't know. How long is this shit gonna go on for? That's what I need to know. What a beautiful baby you are, girl. You're my beautiful girl. She's my beautiful girl. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
Living in a time of plague. How about you? I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Turn the noise down here. I listened to the governor say that there's a state of emergency and whatever, a shutdown. I listened to a spiel earlier this afternoon, and I don't know. It is a time of plague. I mean, you could say it's a time of COVID-19, but I mean, there have been a lot of people who've written about plague, you know, and how it affects people.
Yeah.
Sociology, it affects us in different ways. And it spreads faster because we have airplanes, but also because we have quarantine and different methods, we might be able to slow it down faster than they did 100 years ago. Just being realistic. I'm not trying to instill fear in people, you know.
I didn't really understand your point about the I must have missed what you were saying or something because you.
All right. Well, I guess what I meant was compared to what happened 100 years ago in 1918.
Okay.
I believe that we are much more prepared than we were 100 years ago, although there are differences between how we live now and how we lived then. And we have things like airplanes now that move people quickly, so the disease can spread faster from region to region. I watched this documentary about the Spanish flu. Of course, the Spanish flu should be called the Kansan flu because it started in Kansas. But how it spread by military transport across the United States by train. So as they moved troops from one part of the country to the other, as the troops got off the train, those communities became infected as the train moved across the United States. For example, that isn't happening right now. So we're a step ahead of where we were 100 years ago, but it is still kind of a serious thing. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not trying to be afraid of New World Order, because that's going to happen anyway. The stock market was going to crash anyway as well. And they've always wanted a police state. So you can cry police state, and they're using this as a mechanism for police state. You could also say all that shit was going to happen anyway. But there actually is a disease that's spreading. And I've heard like they're restricting people over the age of 60 in some parts of the world. So So people who are over 60 years old may not receive treatment.
Oh, wow. That's stupid.
Yeah, so the idea here is they only have so many respirators, they only have so many rooms, so they're going to start making like death panel decisions about who receives treatment and who doesn't receive treatment.
Yeah, because we have the greatest healthcare system in the world. Go ahead.
We have the greatest healthcare system in the world. Oh, yeah, well, we don't have the greatest healthcare system in the world. But I did see this at the Daily Mail. It was an article that I hadn't heard on any of the TV clips, and this was from yesterday. It says Iranian government minister accuses America of creating a special version of coronavirus to target his country as he blasts England for blocking sale of masks due to sanctions on Iran. And this is a snippet. It says, this is the ruler of Iran. The ruler of Iran suggested that America created a new strain of coronavirus with the intention of infecting Iranians. According to the independent newspaper, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah al-Khamenei, has publicly declared the U.S. created a special version of the deadly coronavirus now ravaging the country. The deadly coronavirus has killed 1,600 Iranians, including 129 in the last 24 hours. Ayatollah Khamenei also rejected American offers of help in a speech on Sunday, marking the beginning of the Persian calendar. He also suggested Washington would exploit any acceptance of American aid. In his speech, the Ayatollah said, quote, American leaders have said several times that we were willing to provide you with treatment and medical assistance. He added, first of all, you face shortages yourself. If you have anything available, use it yourself. Second, you Americans are accused of producing this virus. I do not know how true the accusation is, but as long as the accusation stands, which sane mind would trust you? That was a quote from the leader of Iran.
Yeah, I have that video posted. I posted it yesterday. If anybody wants to see it. What's that?
I'm just saying raps. I missed it.
Yeah.
But then there was this other article from Mid-Press News that was talking about how Cuba has responded to the problem and about how doctors have been sent by Cuba not just to Italy, but also to many countries throughout Latin America, including Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Jamaica. So they're sending doctors all over the world for free to help governments deal with coronavirus. And that hasn't been reported in the United States, but there was a group of doctors that landed in Italy that received a very big reception from the Italians.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I don't think this vilification of Cuba is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen any people buy into in my entire life. And they just seem to, once they believe it, it's like they believe it wholeheartedly, like they're just an evil country. And they're those people, they don't care about the truth, man. So weird.
No, they don't care about the truth. It's about us and them. It's about making the other, there's some. I definitely believe that the government should provide services to people in the United States, and that should be a priority. But that doesn't mean we should vilify other people around the world because our government just provides services to itself. But this was a quote from the Alan McLeod article in the Press News that I just mentioned, and it says, in contrast to the United States, who reportedly attempted to bribe a German pharmaceutical company to get it exclusive control over a coronavirus vaccine it is working on, ensuring that it would only be available as a for-profit basis, Europe has primarily received help from countries like Cuba, China, and Vietnam, states that have not bought into the neoliberal method of organizing society. China has also sent tons of medical equipment, including life-saving ventilators, to Italy, while Vietnam has sent locally made test swabs. In comparison, 500,000 COVID tests made by an Italian company in Lombardy, the epicenter of the outbreak, mysteriously found their way to the U.S. aboard a military plane last week. So as these other countries are giving supplies to the Europeans to deal with this crisis, Americans are taking scientists and resources out of Italy to try and help Americans in the United States.
Yeah, I heard the Vietnam is doing pretty good when it comes to containing the virus.
Yeah, obviously they have some kind of social control where the people work as a cohesive unit. And that's one of the problems with America is our individualism, which we cherish, kind of makes us never work as a cohesive unit. So some of these countries, like in South Korea, for example, I think it's a lot easier for them to work as a cohesive unit because of their traditions and their culture to address these problems. In a capitalist culture, we're just fragmented and we're just thinking about ourselves, and it makes it very difficult for us to organize. And I just have noticed that.
I think that there's, I think there's a whole lot more programming than our individuality that makes it difficult for us to come together. There's all this programming, there's all this fucking programming that people just don't get that's going on with this, Walking Dead bullshit and, all this fucking violent media is just this intense programming to make you, to just, dumb you down to the violence, man. They want you so, so numb to violence that they can walk up and shoot somebody in the street and you'll go, yeah, I saw that before. Because you've seen it fucking 20,000 times before. By the time you're 10 years old,
I watched that movie Contagion this weekend. I'd never seen it before.
Is that with Dustin Hoffman?
It was intense.
That with Dustin Hoffman?
No, it was with Jude Law and Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's from 2011.
That sounds like a good cast.
And it's also almost an exact, not even exact, but it's very similar to this crisis. It starts in China, and it's an airborne virus, and it kills people. So it's very similar. It isn't like Ebola, but that was strange to watch. What I see is like the government doesn't have as much control as they think they have, and that's even when they put all of these measures in place. If this virus is real and it does spread, and some of the scenarios that are being described do play out, I am thoroughly convinced it will be chaos, because I don't see the government being even capable of addressing basic needs for Americans, let alone providing us with needs in a real crisis. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Although I'm proud of my Washingtonian friends, I went to a client's house this weekend and I did some gardening, and I talked with her. She has a parent who's 90 years old who's in a nursing home. And I'm like, wow, that's intense. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to go visit him this weekend. I guess that isn't going to happen. She said, you can visit your elderly through a glass window. And I asked her, well, how many people are in the facility? And she said, there's like 70 people in the facility. So, 90-year-old people contained in boxes. I don't know.
I don't know. That comes back to this thing where, do you want to live like that? I don't want to live like that. I think the medical, this for-profit medical community, industry, industrial complex is killing people. I think a lot of those people probably don't need to be in those beds. And but because they've had insurance and they have insurance now, they've been fucking poisoned by medicine. Honestly, I see medicine as very dangerous in the 21st century, and I think it probably kills as many people as it helps. Almost.
I think there's a tendency in our culture to warehouse people. And it's very easy to put like all of the children in the same place, all of the adults in the same place, all of the elderly people in the same place. And I don't know, as a species, if that's really how we were designed. This is relatively new. Industrial society is pretty fucking new. Schools and all of this, only like 150, 200 years old. And I just don't think we're designed to be completely separated from babies and old people and young people and and other people.
That was one of these things that I never understood about these clubs. Like my dad was a Masonic club member, and he belonged to all the clubs, the Moose Club, the Lions Club, the everything there was, the Elks, all that shit. But he, these clubs where it's just like all men, or like let's say a gym or something where it's just all men, no women. I never felt like that was anything that I wanted to participate on. It's just too weird, Go ahead.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. And it's about power. Usually those clubs are about people who have power in the community.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the Chamber of Commerce is a kind of an above board organization like that. And I hope, I imagine that those people who belong to those clubs are talking to each other about how they're responding. And I hope they're responding, more than just how it's affecting the bottom line, but how are these communities going to respond? Like if this goes on for another 4 weeks, say, another month of this, and it's only been 1 week so far. If society starts to break down,
when you say it's only been 1 week, you mean it's the shelter in place thing has only been 1 week? Is that what you mean?
I'm saying that 1 week ago, I was under the understanding that it would take a 4-week shutdown in order for everything to kind of slowly come back. That's what I think they were talking about. So that's what I was using in my brain. Mm. And I would say we're about 1 week into that.
Into the 4-week shutdown is what you're saying. 1 week.
A week into a month-long shutdown.
Okay, gotcha.
And maybe longer, because I think they're going to go in like 2-week increments. That seems to be what the president is implying.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how it started. I wish people would visit, and I'm not a scientist. I'm not obsessed with science, so I'm not good at that, but globalresearch.ca is a site that I went to. Mint Press News is a site that I've gone to. And Moon of Alabama is another site that I go to, that all have very developed comment threads about where people believe this virus originated. And there's lots of competing theories and lots of labs and acronyms that I don't understand. But I do know that this information from these websites is not being discussed in the mainstream media. And one of the things I found from Mint Press News was talking about the censorship. The title of the article is Big Tech Firms are using automation to censor news about coronavirus. And this was a quote from YouTube. It said, "As COVID-19 evolves, we are doing our best to support those who watch, create, and make a living on YouTube. Many of us here in our extended workforce are unable to work as usual, so we're reducing staffing in certain offices, causing some disruptions." It said in a message on Twitter, quote, "With fewer people to review content, our automated systems will be stepping in to keep YouTube safe. More videos will be removed than normal during this time, including content that does not violate our community guidelines. We know this will be hard for all of you," end quote, from YouTube.
Yeah, because people can't review that from any fucking computer in the world. It's like they have to be at the YouTube building to review videos to see if they break guidelines or not. They're so full of shit. And if they're giving people copyright strikes and then saying that they're not able to keep up with reviewing whether or not that's an actual copyright strike fucking video, that's that's gonna be a problem.
Sunlight, I think, is the best, it equals transparency. So if they do not want to create an atmosphere of fear, I'm talking about the government and the elites, they should at least allow people to talk with each other, share their ideas and thoughts. Because if they try to put a lid on those conversations like they're doing right here, it's only going to increase people's paranoia and fear, instead of letting them discuss what they're thinking in the open. Inevitably, I'm hoping for a revolution, right? That's what I'm hoping for. But
well, I'm hoping for that. I don't want it to happen at a time like right now, because right now, you know, that people are too on edge to be able to come together. They're too worried about looking out for their own in order to be able to come together. And if it all fucking falls apart now, I think that the government would be at a big advantage to move in the police state, like you're saying, way better than if you know, it was good times, you know, where people aren't trying to get all the food off the shelves and shit, and we all just decide, hey, enough of this endless war crap, and let's all come together and take our shit back. I fear what a revolution, because now a revolution is definitely going to be bloody in times like this, and it's you know, I hate to go ahead.
The cleverest thing, Mike, I've seen, like for activism, one of the cleverest things I've seen occurred here in Olympia about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And some anarchists got the Olympia letterhead for the city and then made a list of like 8 demands. And they listed like 5 things that are occurring as a result of coronavirus, where it says, whereas this is occurring, whereas this is occurring. And then they listed like 8 solutions, including like suspension of all rent, suspension of all mortgages.
Yeah, I think that's immediately. You know, this is one of the things that Craig was saying. Is it you know, the Trump's gonna like bail out the people by giving them $1,000 or whatever, but that's not bailing out the people. All that money is just gonna go straight to the fucking banks, because the people will have these payments that they have to make, and so all that money is just gonna go straight to the fucking bank. So basically, you're keeping the banks alive. You're not keeping the people alive. You want to keep the people alive? You fucking put a moratorium on rent and mortgage payments immediately, and then you fucking and then you give the people, you know, some kind of siphon, because then they'll be able to spend it on things that they might actually need, as opposed to, you know, it having to go immediately to the bank, or we lose our car, or we lose our fucking house, you know.
They want to suspend the economy, but they still want to make money. I mean, they're not actually. I mean, if you have to make your insurance payment this coming month,
yeah,
but you're not driving anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're making money regardless, and that's what they want to do, and that's why, like you said, there should be a moratorium on rent, and that's what these folks did. They put this flyer out, and the city and they posted it. They like wheat pasted it in front of every restaurant and business in town. All the way downtown. And then the next day, of course, the city freaked out and said, these are not proposals that we made. But it drew attention to the fact that there are more radical solutions that the city council will never, ever consider. And that is the kind of activism that we need to be seeing. Like, anarchism is about raising other people's consciousness and getting people to organize for their own self-interest, if that's what you believe. That's what it really is. It isn't just like having a gun and 7 cans of chili and being holed up in your fucking closet. It's actually trying to find a way with other people to try and change the system, as you know, like that.
And let me be real clear: the vast majority of anarchists that I know do not own guns. Go ahead.
No, I just meant from that perspective. You're absolutely right about that. I just meant from that perspective of like the kind of like the tie between libertarianism and anarchy, where, you know, personal freedom is a big part of that, autonomy is a big part of that. But one of the things, you know, that anarchists do is they do work as a collective. So groups of people work on different projects, like whatever, homelessness or war or whatever, and that's their focus. You know, and community development. That's what I'm saying. Developing like cells in the community that can resist a crisis like this. But today, you can't even meet another person in a park. You know, 2, 3 people. I think you can't even meet 3 people in a park.
Well, which is unconstitutional. I mean, that's not something that they can actually do. They can't. I mean, they apparently Jay Inslee says he can enforce this with law enforcement by police, but again, the police aren't gonna fucking enforce it, and it's unconstitutional. So go ahead.
Well, I agree with you. Freedom to assemble is like enshrined in the First Amendment. It's one of the most important principles that we operate on. We can share our ideas with each other, and we can meet with other people to organize, and that's part of like the First Amendment. So, however, and you know it, in a time of national crises, during a national emergency, it gives a power to the police, and it will be enforced by courts. So even though the principle is being violated, in reality, the courts will uphold whatever the government says. I think. We'll see. Anyway,
the courts almost always support the government. You know, it's really rare that the court, you know, acts like the people really have any rights. I mean, really rare.
I really wish there was a discussion on TV that was an honest discussion about where this virus originated. Like, you know, but that isn't going to happen.
And how many, if it is man-made, and if it is man-made, how many laboratories around the world are working on biological weapons like this? You know, I mean, this is the most important question, more than where this came from. We need to know how many more potential issues it is around the world that we have like this, and fucking shut it down.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. We should shut the military-industrial complex down, period, including biowarfare, and use that money for schools and for other programs, for medicine for people, and for developing our infrastructure that we all use, instead of wasting that money on war and enriching just a few people. It's so clear. Maybe we'll see that after this crisis, when we get through this crisis. A lot of people are going to be freaked out. A lot of normal people are going to be freaked out.
How many billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars has been spent working on bullshit like this? You know, I mean, we need that money. We don't need bullshit like this. And I just think, you know, I mean, this is what needs to be the key of the revolution. Like you're saying, the revolution, if it does come now, the key has to be, fuck the goddamn government. This is how evil they are. And if we don't seize control of it now, it's gonna be the death of all of us. Plain and simple. Yeah.
There was a good video, just an aside, there was a good video on Jimmy Dore's show yesterday with Tulsi Gabbard. You may know that already, but there's like a 20-minute interview that he has. And he also was very enamored with Tulsi, with her anti-war message. So he had to eat a little crow, you know, when he talked with her. And then that's interesting. So there's that on Jimmy Dore. And also, I know they're not going to have Vermin Supreme or Howie Hawkins on Fox News and CNN, but I hope you can find some clips of those guys out there, of the third-party candidates, Gloria La-Riva, or some of these other candidates that are running that aren't Democrats or Republicans.
Yeah, they give people an alternative, is what you're saying.
They need to start seeing these people's names.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Dore didn't do that either, and that bothers me. Like, he just criticized Tulsi, but then he's like, oh, what are we going to do? You know, well, you got to start giving people other names like right now, and we need to start discovering these third parties.
Yeah.
And I know it's not popular. It's not popular to put Vermin Supreme's picture or Howie Hawkins' picture on your TV screen, right? But because they're not going to win, and we're obsessed with winning. But we need to change the way we think and start looking at alternative ideas. And that's what these candidates offer us. And that's why we need to see their faces.
And you know what I think, Chris, is that it seems to me that we used to see those candidates, those alternative voices, way, way more than we do now. I mean, I would always post videos of Jill Stein and you know,
Ralph Nader?
Yeah, Nader. I mean, where the fuck is Nader? Nader used to be on TV all the time. You know, and then there's a dozen more, and I, for whatever reason, well, we know what the reason is, but the mainstream media has just, they used to actually act like, well, these people's voices matter, at least somewhat, so we should, we should hear what they have to say. We should at least hear what they have to say. They don't fucking act like they even exist anymore.
One of the last ones that they acknowledged was Ross Perot, and they only gave him legitimacy because he was rich. That's it, just because he was rich. So part of it is our culture, and people talk about how the Soviet Union was like a controlled society, and the Politburo, which was a group of people who weren't elected, made all the decisions. But I mean, it really looks like that's what's been going on here for a while. I mean, just look at how quickly Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Buttigieg, and how many others, Elizabeth Warren will, but even Bernie will endorse Joe Biden. He already said he would.
Yeah, of course.
It's rigged. It's a rigged game, man.
Yeah, it apparently is. I mean, it's like after this, right? We all. I mean, Joe Biden had zero support, and all of a sudden he's the nominee. He had zero support, and then all of a sudden, oh no, Joe Biden's the winner. It's beyond rigged, and it's. I have no faith left at all. You know what I mean? It's like I just want to go. I'm out. I'm done. And just post growing weed videos from here on out. Maybe I'll start cooking. If I was a better cook, I start doing cooking videos. Go ahead.
Nice. I would watch your cooking videos, and I appreciate your herb stories and in the products that you share and your fascination with herb. And yeah, I think that's a good idea. But I mean, I don't think we should be completely apolitical either. Perhaps we can find a different way, but I don't think the Democratic Party is the way. Boycotting elections, maybe, if we do it in an organized manner,
right?
Humans do it in an organized manner,
right?
Or supporting a third party, so your vote doesn't just go away, but it supports another party. So in the future, we do have a voice. Those are two choices, and then of course organizing with your friends, which is like that anarchy kind of approach. Find other people who are like-minded and do things in the community to help the community kind of understand things that they don't understand. Organizing. So there's different options. And anyway, I'm going to go on that. But I appreciate your call, your show, your program, and I will listen to the rest of the calls.
Right on, Chris. Well, it's good to hear from you, and I appreciate you sharing your input with us. It's always valuable, so we're glad to hear from you.
Thank you. I hope everything works out with Comcast, and I'm glad that Craig and you are doing well. I'll talk to you later, Mike. Have a good night.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. And that's our buddy Chris from Olympia. And it's always nice to hear from Chris because he always is full of tons of valuable information. So we really appreciate his calls and everybody else's calls. It is a call-in show, and it just is, without your phone calls, it becomes just me talking, and nobody wants that. I can talk and talk and talk and talk. I can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Although it's not something that I do a lot because I find that people really aren't that interested. So if I can tell you right now, if you're not that interested in listening to me talk, I won't be talking to you very long at all. Because I'll recognize that right away, and I'll just find something else to do with my energy. So let's see. Harvey Weinstein has the coronavirus.
Including this. Harvey Weinstein has reportedly tested positive for the coronavirus. The convicted rapist is apparently in isolation at an upstate New York prison. Before arriving there, Weinstein was held at the Rikers Island jail complex in New York City, which is currently experiencing an outbreak of the virus. Now, this all comes as at least 38 people have tested positive for the illness inside New York City jails. Mayor Bill de Blasio says nearly 24 inmates who are over 50 and are at low risk of reoffending are being re-released to stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Oh, man. How are we supposed to feel about Harvey Weinstein getting COVID-19? I'm going to have to talk to a religious leader before I tell you.
Well, I don't want anybody to get COVID-19,
No,
but
you
it
don't.
really comes into when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
In that particular case.
Nothing going well for him. No.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's hard to know whether he got it before he got to where he is or where he currently is right now. But we'll continue to dig into this story. All right.
Hey, Stomper. Going up on the couch? Go up on the couch. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I'm calling him Stomper because he when he comes up the stairs, it sounds like he has 50-pound paws, which is the name of his punk rock band, 50-Pound Paws. It's like it's a guy thing. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I am doing good, Michelle. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good. Shoot.
Right on. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Oh man. So you guys good over there or what?
Yeah, we're good. I'm good. I don't have a problem. I don't know. I mean, you know, there's the news is scary. The people are acting weird, scary, and you know, which is understandable. I mean, they're not going to work and stuff. They're worried. Did they switch your factory over to making ventilators?
No, they're doing that on the buildings that were idle. You know, the ones that they kept closed.
Yeah.
They're up in Michigan.
Right on. That's awesome.
And yeah, those are the plants that they're talking about building the ventilators. And so it was all those jobs that they didn't, you know, they couldn't hold through that strike that we had. And so they're saying, well, we got a, you know, building right here ready to go, and let's just figure it out. So yeah, GM and Ford are getting together to build that, you know, ventilators because I guess they need them. So.
Yeah, I guess if they can do it, you know what? I just think it seems like a good priority. I'm glad to hear that they're doing that. I'm glad to hear some people are going to get some jobs out of it. Hopefully, it'll be some of the people that were there before.
I know, man. It's fucking crazy what's going on.
So
like tonight,
go ahead.
Tonight that you can't be out after 11:59 tonight, and that's going to happen in about 40 minutes over here Central Time. And they're saying nobody's supposed to be out from 12 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the morning or something. And I'm just like, what the hell?
How does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's crazy because you're talking Texas, right? I'm just like, what the man?
Yeah, I mean, it's like saying, you know, in Iowa, you can't be out after midnight. Well, duh.
Yeah, and so a few hours ago, I went, you know, to the town and stocked up, and you know, everybody was getting toilet paper and everything. I was getting some beverages. I was like, we finally get some time off after working how long, you know, 6 days a week for years and years. And I was like, shoot, I don't know about other people, but I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And just home and just, you know, take a breather, you know, take a minute to sit still, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I'm saying, Michelle. Find the silver lining and try and make something good out of it.
You have to. I mean, shoot, you know, just relax. I mean, otherwise you're always out there, you know, busting your ass to earn a living. It's like, okay, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tight. But if the fucking Senate would get their shit together, and it's like they're blaming each other. Well, this is why we're not passing that, you know, so everybody gets money, you know.
Yeah.
Like the Democrats are telling Republicans, well, all the money that you guys are saying it's going to be to where it's going to be at the company's discretion whether they want to give it down to their employees. And the Democrats are saying, fuck that, enough of corporate welfare. They are doing just fine.
Yeah.
About the fucking people.
Yeah.
And here we go. And Republicans are like, well, we'll go ahead and give the little people money, but it's going to be, you know, because there's no regulations at all at this fucking bill that they threw out there. That's why fucking chillhead McConnell wants to put it out there for a vote, because it benefits who? The upper class, as usual. Fuck the regular people. But yet, they're turning it around, making it look like the Democrats ain't passing it. Why? Because motherfuckers, you idiot, if you pass it right now the way it is, you're not going to see a fucking red cent. So you're going to be in the same fucking hole that you are right now. Then, you know, and the fucking elite and the CEOs, they're going to make sure they get their fucking, you know, their money. Do you think they give a fuck about us? So that's what the fight is about. And so here we go again. It's going to be Democrats are bad because they're not passing it. And people are so fucking uneducated to even have patience to look at the fucking news to understand or, you know, find another source to understand that this bill does not help the average man. It's not gonna.
Yeah, well, and who knows what else is in it, Michelle? I mean, they can have some fucking FEMA camp bullshit in there, you know, about, you know, rounding everybody who's sick up and moving them to one place or something. So it's really hard to know what's being voted on, and hopefully they're gonna do the right thing and like you're saying, look out for the working class, because like you said, the big factories, you know, if they just shut down, if they just make it so that you don't have to make these fucking payments, you know, if they stop the mortgage payments and the rent payments, then you shut the factory down and it doesn't really cost the factory owner any money to keep it there, you know.
We all know that this is not what this fucking country is built for.
Yeah.
Because he could have did it already with his big fat ass Sharpie pen. He could have already said that. He's not doing it.
Right.
Okay? Same way with this bill that they're passing. You know, people are going to struggle. Next week, this Friday coming up, is going to be people's last paycheck. After that, shit's going to hit the fucking fan. And do you think we give a fuck if the CEOs are making their money after they've been raping the workers?
Yeah.
You think we give a fuck about that shit?
Yeah.
So here, everybody needs to realize that the Republicans, as usual, are looking out for the upper class. They don't give a fuck about us. Trump has already been on fucking on an interview where he went up there and stated, well, you know, in 15 days, this is all going to be over. Because he's worried not about us, but about the fucking economy.
Yeah, I agree. They ask him
how they're using it against us, of what the fuck is going on, while they're over there fucking pulling their hairs back and forth, back and forth. We're in the middle. How are we going to pay our rent? How are we going to pay, you know, anything, food, whatever? You know, they're not even thinking about us, and people should wake up and see exactly what the fucking government is about. Either you pass this, or, you know, let the rich people make all the money and they'll give you whatever crumbs drop down, which we all know already is nothing. So if you guys want to keep living like this, go ahead and vote for that goddamn jackass Biden and not realize what is going on. Everybody has fucking turned their fucking head away from what they believed in for maybe future prosperous, you know, jobs. But in reality, everybody, look what's going on. Mitch McConnell is not going to put up a bill if it doesn't benefit him and his stockholders and everything else, because that money that they say is for us, the CEOs and all them can use it to buy back their stocks. They can use it to whatever the fuck they want to do. They can use it for automotive technology, you know, and phase us out. That's what they've been doing with that fucking money, and it doesn't look good for any of us. You know, so people need to wake up and just realize that whatever the fuck is going on, look what the fucking government is not doing for you. It's like, if this is not a prime example of what the Republicans are about, of all the fucking upper class, you know, just the fucking elite, they make the money, the hell with the poor people. You know, just like it's, okay, when they get the right medicine to beat this virus, are they going to give it free for everybody? Or are the poor going to suffer and say, well, you know what, you can't afford this shot, so you will die, but the rich people that can afford it, you deserve to live. This is the fucking world we live in right now. So when they tell me, okay, you don't go out, you don't do nothing, you don't go to work, you know what? Thank you, motherfuckers. Because goddamn, I'm tired. But get your shit together. Because this is not fair for everybody else that's going through this shit. All the bars and restaurants that they closed down, their waiters, their waitresses, how are they fucking be able to afford to live?
Yeah.
They're not making any money, and it's not their fault. It's not because they don't want to go to work. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at prices like this, let's take care of the shipping industry, you know, those cruise ships. Let's take care of them. Let's take care of the fucking airlines. Let's take care of them.
Yeah.
But how about us?
Yeah.
How about the working man?
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
And
Yeah.
the way they are, and the way they are, they're so ugly towards us, and it's like, motherfuckers, without us, you CEO can't live where you're living because we're not there to fucking make the product for you to prosper and fuck everybody else. It's like they don't get it, but it's going to be a rude awakening, you know, because truth is, if you don't have any workers, you know, yeah, you can get robots and all this and that, but once you do that, who's going to buy your product if they don't have a fucking job? Like, they're so stupid. They don't even understand reality and how it is to live in a fucking world that was supposed to be good for everyone. No, you got these industries that are figuring out, how can we do away with manpower? Okay, well, that's one less of a person that will buy your product. That's one less of a person. No, they don't think that. They think about right here and right now. No one's thinking about the future. And Tulsi doing what she did with Biden, broke my heart.
Yeah.
Man, it broke my heart, you know. And it's like she loses credibility.
Yeah. She makes her look like a status quo person.
Yep, exactly. And then now the Democrats are relying on Biden to beat Trump. Trump is going to eat him alive.
I think so. I don't think there's any way he can beat Biden. I mean, I don't think there's any way he can beat Trump. That's for sure.
Well, Biden is never going to. Oh, shit. He just came out with a woodwork. They were like, oh, where's Biden hiding? He just came out of the woodwork and had this fucked up little press conference in his house or whatever, like videotaped it.
Yeah.
And he didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Meanwhile, Bernie, he's asking, you know, his followers, please help donate to, you know, some of the corona and all this virus and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gotten millions and millions of donations because he's actually doing what, if you want to be a president, this is what you do.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Biden certainly doesn't know what he's doing. And Bernie is the only one who's actually making sense to where, okay, well, this is this. But let's move on to it. He's fucking trying to get help and money, you know, people to donate to people who has a virus. Like, shit, people wake the fuck up, man. It's crazy what's going on right now.
I agree, Michelle. We're in unseen times. This is nothing like we've experienced before, for sure.
I know, right? Just like they were showing the timeline about Trump, it was just kept acting like the coronavirus. It was nothing. It was nothing.
He was desperate, trying to save the stock market.
Yeah. And that's why he went on video and fucking said that in 15 days business will be back, you know, as usual. And it's like, motherfucker, who are you? Like, you think I'm gonna trust you to say, okay, we don't have a cure yet, but in 15 days, you know, we all got to go back to work. Like, fuck you, you crazy motherfucker. Shit.
I hear you.
I don't know. We just got to make the best of it and just, you know, all we got to do is just be smart.
Just stay cool. Just stay cool.
Yeah, exactly. Just stay cool and just be like, this is going to blow over.
Right.
You know, just smart. When you're out there, you're touching anything, just don't touch your fucking face, man. You know? They say wash your hands and everything. Well, you know, we all practice hygiene, so it's nothing new.
Yeah.
But let's just calm the fuck down and just, you know, say, okay, we got to do this, we got to do this.
Yeah.
But everything is going to work out. You see, it always does.
Yeah. It does. I say that again and again, Michelle. I've said that so many times on this program, way before the coronavirus ever came along. So.
Yeah, did you see in Italy their canals? Did you see the video where they're showing that dolphins are swimming up there now?
No, I didn't see that. I gotta look. Yeah, I gotta look for that.
Yeah, well, it's so beautiful, and they're even having like, even they say something like, even Italy makes lockdown so romantic. You got all these fucking opera singers singing on their balcony to the people and shit. I was just like, oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
But, the faith and everything's gonna be all right, you know. We're all in it together, and just be smart, you know.
I agree, Michelle. Stay cool and be smart.
But all right, brother. Well, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Hey, it's good to hear from you. I hope we talk again real soon. Okay.
Same here, brother. All right. Take care.
Bye. And that's our buddy Michelle from Texas. And it's really good to hear from her because we haven't heard from her for a few days. So I am glad that she called. And I have a clip here about a Boeing worker who died from the coronavirus. All right.
Well, as I mentioned just a little bit earlier, I'm coming to you from my home now, and that's where many Boeing workers believe they should have been days before this. The company decided to close all their Puget Sound operations today, but one family says for them, it is already too late. KIRO 7's Graham Johnson is live at Boeing's field for us. Their Renton plant, and Graham, workers today got the news as they mourn the loss of one of their own.
Yeah, and I spoke with the brother of a worker, Steve, at the Everett plant, who tells me the company should have acted sooner. We are in the Renton plant. This is already one of the quietest in the Boeing ecosystem right now because it had shut down production of the troubled 737 MAX weeks ago. Now other facilities will close for 2 weeks. Boeing's decision to stop production at local plants for 2 weeks comes as Lionel Washington mourns the death of his brother, Elton Washington.
Just an amazing man.
Elton Washington worked at the Everett plant, where his brother says he contracted coronavirus. He died in the hospital yesterday. I asked Lionel Washington if Boeing should have shut down earlier.
Oh my God, yes. That would avoid my brother's death. If they close early, then he doesn't get ill.
Boeing says out of 70,000 local workers, 25 people have confirmed COVID-19. The company says its health team has been monitoring the pandemic and has been in continuous touch with public health officials. Boeing was also under growing pressure to join other local employers in sending people home. After workers started getting sick, many employees contacted KIRO 7. Last week, one agreed to talk by phone with our Ryan Sims.
We don't know whether or not we've used the same restrooms, used the same food areas, had discussions with them, used the same parts, used the same tools, and we don't wash these tools.
Boeing will pay its employees for the 10 workdays they stay home. Today, Governor Jay Inslee wrote, "I applaud Boeing's decision to implement an orderly shutdown and continue to pay its workers during this difficult time. Now is a time for bold actions like these." Lionel Washington agrees.
Well, I believe it saves lives.
Boeing planned to begin the shutdown today with the full 2-week closure starting Wednesday. There will be a few people left on site for a number of tasks, including deep cleaning the facilities. Live in Renton, Graham Johnson, KIRO 7 News.
The hospital ship USNS Mercy left San Diego today, headed for Los Angeles. Washington had asked that the ship come here, but that request was denied. The ship will arrive within the week in LA and be ready to receive patients the day after it docks. It will treat non-COVID-19 patients transferred from other hospitals. It's prepared to stay as long as it takes and to move on to other ports if it's no longer needed in LA. Now, the Washington State National Guard is being activated to help fight the spread of COVID-19. KIRO 7 South Sound reporter Kevin McCarty went to Camp Murray to ask what this means after the order came from the president.
The men and women here at Camp Murray are waiting for orders to go out and help in the fight against the coronavirus after word came from the White House to get ready. States across the country have mobilized the National Guard, but Washington is one of 3 states to have the Guard activated after a Title 32 order was approved by President Trump.
And essentially what that means is the federal government will pay for the costs associated with using the National Guard.
Washington, California, and New York all received the activation order because they are the states hardest hit by the COVID-19 outbreak so far.
But right now, I anticipate sending a hospital to Seattle and a hospital to New York City.
What the men and women of the Guard will be doing in Washington state isn't clear yet, since they haven't been assigned a particular mission. Karina Shagrin, the communications director for the Washington National Guard, says the duties will likely be transport and delivery of badly needed supplies.
Food delivery has been in discussions. The National Guard could certainly assist with the transportation of goods, whether that's medical equipment, medical supplies.
This is video of the Washington National Guard training at the Yakima firing range last summer. Shagrin says the Guard won't be needed in a combat role, and that persistent rumors spreading on social media of deploying Guardsmen in the street are false.
I know that the National Guard is not involved in any sort of martial law situation. There is nothing to the rumors about military rule. That's not what the National Guard will be doing.
Shagrin says a national exercise that was about to get underway in May has now been canceled because of the COVID-19 outbreak. So she says if you see a lot of military vehicles on the freeway right now, they're not heading into action. They're just coming home. At Camp Murray, Kevin McCarty, KIRO 7 News.
Well, in the last 90 minutes, the president issued an executive order to prohibit hoarding medical equipment. That includes hand sanitizer, face masks, and also personal protective equipment used in hospitals. The Health and Human Services Department will designate specific items as scarce, and it will be a crime to stockpile them. The president also called on the Senate to pass massive stimulus package to deliver coronavirus relief and end the current shutdown. The president says the country was not built to be shut down and will be open again for business soon. Now, he says senators are getting closer to a deal, but so far they have failed to pass two key procedural votes. Senate Republicans accuse Democrats of stalling, while Democrats claim Republicans are prioritizing corporate industry over American workers. One key holdup appears to still be the lack of oversight for roughly $500 billion in funds for loans and loan guarantees for companies and states.
And what it has is, for instance, a giant corporate bailout fund with no accountability.
Absolutely mindless obstruction going on the other side, while the public is waiting for us to act.
A complication in passing the stimulus package. Several senators are in quarantine after Senator Rand Paul, that is, tested positive for the coronavirus. Still, both sides of the aisle are pushing for a deal by the end of the day. Now, Snohomish County is now offering free coronavirus tests for frontline workers and those with underlying health issues. This as Edmonds and Everett ordered their residents to stay home until further notice, even ahead of the governor's potential order. KIRO 7's Deborah Horn is live right now.
Gray Walker, that's for Tulsi. I just looked at it with you, bro. Give me a minute and call.
Okay.
Hey, I understand, there's been a problem with people saying bad things about Tulsi.
Hey, Gray Walker. You have to shut off whatever the audio is that you have over there. You have some kind of secondary audio that's echoing.
I got you covered, bro. Okay. I just did it. There's a delay, of course, but it should be gone now.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I can't hear what's going on from the screen, but I'll talk. Is there a way to put the audio through my speakerphone?
You can hear what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, that's right, bro.
Okay, so it's just the two of us. There isn't any other conversation.
I already know electronic technician.
Yeah, there isn't any other audio to listen to besides the two of us. and I can steer.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
There's a bit of delay because I'm listening to you from the screen.
Don't listen.
And talking to you through
you have to turn off the volume on the screen.
Got it, but I'm not getting the audio through the mic.
How come?
Or from the phone. Okay, I just turned this audio off from the phone. I'm hearing you.
Okay, good. That's all there is you and me. What do you got?
Well, first of all, before we even talk about the problems with Tulsi and those who are attacking her, there's a greater public health issue in play, the pandemic. And this is the very reason she stopped her campaign. She wants to get her message out to everyone. I have no contact whatsoever with Tulsi or her campaign. I'm just speaking to you from my heart as I understand things.
Okay.
All right. There is a matter of public politeness that is to be done. Even everyone has a pair of scissors and an old t-shirt. They can easily make a mask. Now, this mask is not going to help you a whole lot. But if you, cough or sneeze, it stops your germs, whatever they are, whether you're infected or not, from those around you. If you are infected and you don't know it, then this will stop it as well. This is only a matter of politeness.
Uh-huh.
All right? So, now if everyone does it, this will slow the spread of it in public places. Okay, am I making sense? This is group. People talk a lot about socialism. I mean, this is just about being social. We gotta live with each other. We share this earth together. And what hurts me hurts you.
I agree. I think that this virus shows that we're more connected than anybody wants to give credit for.
Oh man, we are right on target here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We all share the same vulnerabilities. There is one individual I know that is going about this thing as if nothing is happening. I tell this individual that owing to quarantine, he is not welcome in my house. You can come up to the door and knock and ask something if he needs help. But this individual, I don't want to be exposed to what he has been exposed to. It could be on his clothes, anything. If everyone, is certain precautions. Common sense is walk around with a bandana.
Well,
if you cough,
let me put it into
politeness.
Yeah, let me put it into perspective for people. Okay, if you have this COVID-19 and you are walking around infecting other people, basically you are being a serial killer. So
that's going a bit
if you
strong.
look at it from that perspective, then these precautions and not wanting to hurt anyone, and not, that's not who you want to be, it's not who you strive to be,
right. We're on the same page.
Yeah. So if you look at it from that perspective, then that, you want to take extra precautions to make sure that that's not who you wind up being. Go ahead.
Are you certain? All right. Or Mike, are you certain that you do not or have not been exposed to the virus?
No, I am not.
Would you like to unknowingly expose someone else?
No, I don't want to expose anybody.
Now they got that 6-foot rule. That's what that's for. You know, if you just put like a bandana, it is spread. It doesn't like float in the air. It's in the little droplets of our breath that, you know, and it oozes off of us through our breath, droplets of water.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if everyone does this and goes along with the 6-foot rule, it will seriously slow down the rate of exposure. The virus lives, think of it as a single organism. It's looking for something to eat. And we're the somethings to eat.
Yeah.
All right? And if you might have it and not know, or especially if you do know you have it, you quarantine yourself. There's certain economic things, so I'm just talking about when you must interact. But simple precautions, this is politeness. That bandana won't help you a lot if somebody else is being irresponsible. But you being responsible and for yourself inspires other people to be responsible to themselves. It helps change everyone's individual framework of thinking.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense. I personally, there's almost no one walking around with masks in my general area that I've seen. Very way less
Correct.
way less
Correct.
than 1%.
What I'm trying to engender here.
Yeah.
Yep, you're very correct, and that expressly is what I wish to address. Is that everyone's walking around without masks or just assuming. Now just say one of them, comes from another place. He doesn't want to be singled out from as in coming from a place, newly incoming traveling, or could have taken a bus trip, plane trip with somebody else. He wouldn't want to point himself out. What I'm saying is that should such a situation arise, it would be better to show an example, to show someone who thinks he might be, but might be contaminated or infected, for you to show solidarity by saying, well, hey, you might be too, because you're not sure you are. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, again, that makes a lot of sense. And, if you're trying to protect yourself from, being some kind of a...
No, I'm not trying to protect myself. I'm trying to protect everybody else.
If you're trying to protect yourself from being a murderer, let me finish, then you probably want to take some serious precautions to make sure that you are not potentially spreading this to other people.
Oh, we are on the same page. You just used stronger language than I would have preferred. I would just prefer to say that you adhere to, like, Matthew 5-7. Do unto others. And, just be a part of society. That's what, if those who are about socialism, this is what socialism is being a part of society. Those who are right wing and libertarian, this is like being responsible for your actions. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. This is about being a human being.
Yeah, well, now more than ever, this Republican-Democrat shit is just stupid.
Man, god damn, that's why I love you, bro.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think we got another caller. Craig said something about we got another caller. Did you want to make another point?
Yeah, I wanted to address the attacks against Tulsi.
Okay, go ahead. I would like you to do that.
I believe that, well, first of all, she said that given the choices, and people seem to pass over those words.
Yeah.
That she endorses Biden. She did not say, and I would like for you to support him. She used a lot of affluent language. It's kind of like putting a bunch of cake icing over a pile of shit. You know, and people are eating this. And I'm telling you that endorsement is shit. How many people do you think of her 0.0% of electoral votes are going to Biden? So what the fuck do you... I'm apologize. So what the heck do you think value her endorsement is to Biden from an electoral perspective?
Well, from an electoral perspective, it's worthless because, you know, they don't really give a shit about her. But from, you know, a people perspective, you know, it's of value. But that's not the point. The point is, she said, you know, all this stuff about war. About wars of choice, about and Joe Biden, when he had the chance to fight against going to Iraq, to stand up and try and keep our brothers and sisters from being put into harm's way, as she loves to say. When she says my brothers and sisters, not our, and when Joe Biden had that chance, he chose to help George Bush get those soldiers put into harm's way and murder 1 million innocent Iraqis instead. And she's made this big giant point about this, and now I don't understand how she keeps credibility and endorses Joe Biden.
Okay, I will hope to explain this for you.
Okay.
It pisses me off too. I have been in an executive position at the time. I have been in situations when I have had to make choices. I could go this way or that way. And I didn't like where any of them went. And this is what Tulsi is set with. She absolutely, positively had to fall into line, as Bernie will have to when he loses. She did it, well, prematurely or not. I'll let her foresight and the voters prove me wrong. God, I hope the fucking voters prove me wrong. Voters out there, prove me wrong. But Bernie's going to lose.
Yeah.
Voters, prove me wrong. Please, God.
It doesn't seem to be up to the voters, in my opinion.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, how the hell do you want to change that? How do you change that? Go third party. Tulsi told us. You have to be, if you parse her words carefully, she said that a third party is not viable in the current landscape.
Yeah.
To me, that is an open landscape to help third parties, to make them viable.
Yeah.
There is a way to do it. I used to, I did Dem Exit in 2000, bro.
Cool.
I'm agreeing. Okay, you understand. Now, what I tried to do was to make a coalition of third parties so that they could combine their resources, that it would then be, many strands make a strong rope, with a big Dem Exit, and there's a lot of people on the right that are pissed off with Trump. We can pull them together. I mean, there's the Green Party, there's the Libertarian Party, there's the Peace and Liberty Party, and there's also making, there's several third parties that a lot of the groundwork has been done that are hungry with people who share their ideology.
I understand what you're saying.
All right.
Go ahead.
And I'm just talking about, I'm not talking about this election. Not at all. I don't care about this. This election is done. Trump is going to be president for another 4 years. I am concerned about the 2022 elections. There are governorships. There is the entire House of Representatives to be done. But I wish everyone to focus, who is politically active, who is politically savvy, to focus at state elections, because that is where electoral law is decided as per, like allocation of electoral votes. Everybody bitches about this one winner-take-all thing. You go to your state, you take over your state legislature. Article 2, Section 1, Line 3 of the United States Constitution says that your state's electoral votes are decided by your state legislature. Run for local office. Do it, people. Get involved. Tulsi told us how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm done ranting. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. No, we're glad that you joined the conversation, and I'm glad that somebody's sticking up for Tulsi, because I really do like her. I just can't stand Joe Biden. So
I fucking don't. You think I'm gonna? If she were to tell me to vote for Joe Biden, I would say no, ma'am. I will vote my conscience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I advise everyone to do the same.
Yeah. And like you're saying, apparently that's not what she said. She didn't say vote for Joe Biden. She said whatever it was she said. But
what did she say? Listen to it again.
Yeah.
And parse her words closely.
Yeah.
And listen to facts and check your feelings at the door, because, I mean, she laid that nice cake icing over that pile of shit really thick.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to the endorsement itself, it was given a choice.
Yeah. No, we hear you. We hear you.
She did with Hillary.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. It's just it all boils down to this Iraq war thing for me, and Joe Biden's vote on that, and not really being able to understand how she could.
She had to,
yeah.
Man.
So
there's, when folks are saying that she's compromising, well, those people are not politicians.
Yeah.
If someone isn't a politician in a position of power, if they aren't willing to negotiate, there's one of two things. And make no mistake, negotiation is the same thing as compromise. You must make one of two. You will either be completely ineffectual, which Tulsi is not, or be a tyrant, which Tulsi also is not.
Yeah.
Just giving that perspective. People can believe as they will.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry, I'm drunk.
It's all good. No, it's all good. We appreciate you calling, and again, I'm really glad somebody's defending Tulsi, because I would totally, except for I can't. This Iraq war thing, is something I'm not gonna be able to. Yeah, I just can't get over the Iraq war thing. So. And I thought that she was someone who couldn't either. So,
She didn't.
Nor do
what makes you think she did?
Yeah. I hear you.
By,
yeah.
if she went about it, she would be ignored.
Yeah.
Now that she looks like
she's been ignored this whole time, so, she ought to be used to that and just figure that's what's going to happen for the future, too.
And maybe she's tired of it.
Yeah. Well,
this gives her a chance to maybe say something a time or two.
Yeah.
And she's already, made podcasts, and there are podcasts that I have seen that Trump has listened to. and followed, like the UBI thing, like the emergency UBI thing. He immediately, as soon as she said it, very shortly thereafter, Trump came out in support of it.
Yeah.
I don't know where it stands now, and now it got fired down into a bunch of other crap.
Yeah.
But she is having an influence.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that Trump has listened to her for a long time, honestly. He seems to be, find what she has to say, of very interest to him.
I agree with you absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I understand the questions. I don't have the answers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because I have those questions too.
Yeah.
It becomes down to a matter of trust.
I hear what you're saying.
Right down to it.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of trusted out, man. When it comes to these politicians.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, as of right now, as of when she suspended her campaign for the purpose of electoral politics, she became irrelevant.
Yeah.
For the purpose as a spokesperson for the movement, peace, and preparedness, and what needs to be done, take each issue as it should go. Do not dismiss everything. Take everything for electoral politics. She's irrelevant. Personally, if it isn't Bernie as a nominee, I would recommend taking the course that I took 20 years ago and Dem exit. I was going to join the Democratic Party to vote for Tulsi, she wouldn't have had a chance.
Yeah.
Of even getting a delegate. I would have just done it just to do it.
Yeah. Of course. She's the best candidate out of everybody. By far.
But I'm just saying that she should not be dismissed for bowing to the inevitable, because it's very probable that she's going to be called up to duty to build hospital beds as a member of the National Guard. Well, I mean, her initial MOS was military training, was in medical logistics. So her specialty is in demand at this time.
Yeah.
If she's called up to serve the citizens of Hawaii.
Yeah. And she probably will be. I mean, she's that kind of girl. So, all right. What's your name again?
You want my screen name is Gray Walker, vet for Tulsi.
Gray Walker. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see you up there all the time.
You're really a cool guy. We agree on that. I've done bog hits with you.
Right on. Nice. I think you're not the only one.
I believe you.
Yeah. So.
Okay, my friend.
Yeah. Well, look forward to talking to you again soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Right. Peace out, brother.
See ya. Gray Walker, vet for Tulsi. Excellent. Let's see. I'm not sure if Craig has another caller or not. I hear him talking to somebody. But otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and play a video for you. If Craig doesn't say he has it, I'm gonna give Craig just a minute to say that he has a caller or not. And then I'll play a video for you, because that's what I do. And since Craig is not saying anything about a caller, I'm going to go ahead and play a video. We're going to play video number 8.
Sharika, good morning.
Good morning to you all. You know, the number of businesses that are facing closures right now is staggering. In fact, some experts predict that 7 million people could lose their jobs between April and June. And the unemployment rate is expected to skyrocket to 9% by later this year. For many, It is just unclear right now how long the economy and their livelihoods will be paralyzed by this pandemic.
Greg Fletcher and his business partners spent 2 years preparing to open Axonero Brewery in New Jersey. Now, just 2 weeks away from their 1-year anniversary, the business is facing an uncertain future.
What's your concern for business owners like yourself?
There's a real threat to a lot of small businesses. We're paycheck to paycheck, week to week. That revenue has to come in, or it's problematic.
Fletcher says they have a small cash reserve and their customers are still able to pick up beer to go. When we talked to him Sunday afternoon, he'd only made 2 sales that day. One during our interview.
How scary is that for you?
It's worrying. Yeah. If this obviously extends out into 3 weeks, it's not going to be enough to cover all of our expenses.
He stopped scheduling his 4 part-time employees as businesses around the country face the same tough decisions. The closures have been especially hard on retail, hospitality, restaurant, and travel industries.
There you go.
Roughly 82 million people, that's 3/5 of the U.S. workforce, are hourly employees. Most won't be paid if they don't work.
I'm scared.
Kanika Rice worked at Johns Hopkins University as a cook, but is now out of a job. She says she makes 65% less on unemployment compared to her regular pay and says it's not enough to support her 3 children.
What I get in unemployment is just enough to survive on a daily basis where I'm at now.
Kelly and Nathan, who asked us not to use their last names, decided to leave New York City to move in with family in Virginia. Nathan lost his job as a coordinator for a nonprofit. Kelly's job in retail e-commerce was furloughed without pay.
It's all very uncertain at this point. But yeah, if and when I get the call to come back to work, I will be there without a doubt.
Full disclosure, Kelly is my cousin, but as you all know, this pandemic is infecting everyone. Here's something else to consider when you talk about the economy. 18 million people pay more than half of their income to their housing. So take that into consideration. You miss a paycheck, and now you're looking at not being able to pay your rent or your mortgage. Experts saying that you should reach out to your banks and also your landlord to see what kind of arrangements you can make to delay those payments if needed.
Yeah, Drika, that's well taken. If you skip the virus, everyone is infected by the economic flu that's going around here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's an economic crisis as well as a health crisis.
The ripple effect never, ever ends.
Yeah.
So Jackie Cat's on the phone with me during the clip here. We've been talking about stuff.
Hey, everybody.
And she was just suggesting that I might want to add maybe some clips from Ron Paul's Liberty Report. And I was saying that I tried to contact him about adding clips from his show. And those people know who I am. We've been doing Ron Paul stuff forever. So I thought that they might at least get me back. And we didn't hear back from him. So I'm thinking that either I try to contact the wrong place, or they're very familiar with me bad-mouthing Rand Paul. Because
That's entirely possible.
Yeah, when Rand Paul ran for president.
He's done some wacky stuff. I was thinking about him being sick now, and I don't know if he's sick because I guess Ron Paul said he's fine.
Oh, good.
Yes, that is good. But I was thinking, oh yeah, wasn't there a thing where he beat up a neighbor?
Yeah, that was one of the things I talked about him.
And there was one of those, I think there were other things as well, but just weird stuff going on with him.
Yeah, he doesn't seem, I don't believe that he's the person that he portrays himself to be, as far as this, small government, conservative government, like his dad. I think he tries to act like he has his dad's values, but I don't think that's really what he has at all.
I never was so impressed with him, actually,
Yeah.
like I was with Ron Paul. But it was, I don't know, I was watching Ron Paul today, and, oh, God bless him, he's getting old. Oh, it was almost as bad as watching Biden today, because he seemed like he's having a little trouble spitting his words out and stuff, and it was like, oh, gosh. And then, like, all these people in the chat were saying, Ron Paul for president, Ron Paul, and I was thinking, are you people kidding me? I mean, I love Ron Paul too, but, he's sounding a little wacky, and Jesus, how old is he now?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, my goodness.
He's up
My
there.
goodness.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, this is part of the reason that I wanted Tulsi, not so much because she's young, but she's not one of these establishment, people who've been around forever, and clearly not in the people's interest. That's why it was easy to think, maybe she's different, And you said you called to defend her, so go ahead.
I did. So yeah, I'll go back to that. So, here's the thing with that, is that, apparently, if a person runs as a Democrat for president,
right,
they have to, I believe it's a signing of some kind of agreement.
Yeah, they signed a contract that says they will support whoever the eventual nominee is.
Right. So that doesn't mean that they actually have to go out and campaign for the person, apparently, but they have to make appropriate mouth noises.
Yeah.
That's the way I would put it.
Yeah.
So if it seems disingenuous that Tulsi is backing Biden, that's because it kind of is.
It totally
it
is,
doesn't mean, just because the mouth is making the noises,
Right.
it doesn't mean that she believes this is a good thing. It doesn't mean that she even thinks people should go out and vote for this person. She is just saying that it's apparent. It's like she's letting us know, just like Yang did before, that the race is over.
Yeah.
The race is over. So,
The establishment has
she's a sellout.
Well, no, the establishment.
The selling out came before she ran. It didn't come now.
It's not that I think that she's a sellout. It's that there's this thing where you kill 1 million innocent people, or you have some hand in doing it, when you could have stood up and tried to stop it, and you chose to help make it happen. And I hear you. She signed a contract, and it said that she would support the eventual nominee, and she has to fulfill her contract. Otherwise, she can never run as a Democrat again. But I mean, we're talking about 1 million dead people, and you know what I mean? It's this thing that I can't. I will never, ever, ever be able to get over, and I don't think that she has either. It's just, you see her, make the appropriate mouth noises, and you go, oh my God, your heart just sinks,
Yeah, it's pretty awful. It's pretty awful.
Because that million,
it hit me harder. It hit me harder personally when Yang did it, so I kind of already was so crushed that by the time Tulsi did it, I was, already used to it, I guess.
You saw it. You saw it coming. You were
prepared.
But
also on Nerds for Humanity, which is another nice channel, and if you wanted to take a clip from him, I don't know if you'd be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Tom would let you do it. He seems pretty groovy.
Mm-hmm.
But he had an interview with Andrew Yang over the weekend, and he asked Andrew, and he even posted a clip of this particular question. He even said to him, I'm going to paraphrase because my memory's not that great, but he was like, a lot of your supporters were terribly butthurt, and they're still butthurt. What do you say to them?
Yeah.
And, like, how could you support Biden? How could you do that? And basically, he said that, first of all, it's an agreement that you agree to.
Yeah.
And you don't have much choice about it.
Right.
And you have to accept when you run. You have to accept when you run that may happen. It may happen that you may have to endorse somebody that you really don't agree with platform-wise. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But he also claimed that Biden was actually a really nice guy. So, okay, that to me was kind of offensive because, like, oh, you know, I know it's like so overdone, but like, oh yeah, Hitler was a really nice guy too, you know, like, I'm sure he was nice to somebody somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I hear you. Again, this is the million dead Iraqis, you know, I mean, you know, a nice guy would have stood up and said, no, I will not allow you to go and kill innocent Iraqis. You know, that's what a nice guy would have done, and he did not do that. So I find it, you know, he may be pleasant to be around, but he's no nice guy.
The other thing that Yang said that I think gives some light to the Tulsi situation was that, like it or not, if you make the appropriate mouth noises, then you may get a seat at the table. And he didn't necessarily mean that you'd be offered a position in specific, because that would be illegal, apparently.
Yeah.
But it means that you have some influence with whoever the nominee will be. And so if you're looking to advance some platform, some idea that's kind of more important to you than being president or many other things, I guess, then, you know, you make the mouth noises because maybe you'll get to, you know, add a little spice to what's going on in the world, what's going on in the government. And I know that Yang claimed that he was able to contact the White House, in fact, and he was able to send data over to the Trump administration on UBI and how it works and whatever it is. Because that's his thing, right? That's his big thing.
Yeah.
And I know Tulsi came out in favor of it also. But at the same time, if Tulsi really cares that much about ending the forever wars, and I believe she does, then, you know, maybe she honestly feels like she has a better chance at affecting policy by making those mouth noises, no matter how really awful it is for us to all hear. And
no matter how
you
much,
know, and at the end of the day, Tulsi is not smart, is not so dumb that she would believe that just because she says this, people are going to go out. She knows damn well that hardly anybody that supports her is probably. I mean, I haven't seen any polls or anything, but I'd be very surprised if any significant double-digit portion of Tulsi followers are going to go out and vote for Biden.
Yeah, I would be very surprised.
You know, I mean, I know that Yang's campaign's numbers were not very good. Probably half of them said they were going to vote for Trump. Just because, you know, Brexit, I guess.
He's not.
Yeah, maybe they weren't, or maybe they weren't Democrat. But, you know, Tulsi's got that crossover appeal as well, so I'm sure she's very well aware.
Yeah.
Very well aware. And I know it's really awful. You know, it is.
Yeah.
But
I hear what you're saying, and I believe.
But maybe we will hear news in the near future about Tulsi doing something or having some influence that we wouldn't have thought she possibly could.
Well, I would love to see her as a Secretary of Defense. I think she'd be amazing in that position.
That would be so awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I know I've been thinking about that for quite a while.
But if Biden was to say stuff like that, then you might think that maybe the guy has, but he's not electable. We know he's not electable, and it's just But I hear what you're saying. I hear the anguish in your voice, And you know what? I bet that Tulsi Gabbard is feeling 10 times that anguish about having to do that, suggest that Joe Biden is somehow who she's going to be voting for. I bet that's really, really hard for her. But hopefully it doesn't cut her out of the loop. It doesn't. It does help keep her involved in what's going on. Because again, if we saw her somehow, working, the head of the VA or the defense secretary or the secretary of state or the vice president, then I would actually feel good about Joe Biden then. So, but I don't think it's going to happen. Joe Biden's not going to be president.
I've had similar thoughts too, that maybe if he did take Tulsi, maybe I could vote for him. I don't know. But
if he was to,
and it's still only a maybe.
Yeah,
it's a long shot of a thing to happen, and even then it's a maybe.
Yeah, well, if Joe Biden was to pick Tulsi as a actual running mate, then it would be an easy vote to make, not because I would be voting for Joe Biden, but I would be voting for Joe Biden, who is a feeble old man with early onset dementia, and it would be pretty simple to push him out of the way for an aggressive go-getter like Tulsi. So,
yeah, that's true.
A boy can dream.
One can. Well, maybe, let's see. I don't know. I'm so optimistic sometimes when I probably should not be.
That's that damn hope. That's that damn hope.
Is the marijuana giving that to me?
It's not the marijuana. It's not.
Okay.
It's the hope is the last disease locked in Pandora's box. It was the one that didn't get out, which means it can't be cured. It's in there, and it's just there's nothing we can do about it because it's fucking locked away and we can't get to it.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, I just wanted to speak my piece about that, and I imagine if somebody had said that to me, like the day after getting made those awful mouth noises, well, I probably wouldn't have wanted to hear it, but moving forward,
I do want to.
Yang went on. He's going to be giving away $1 million. He's starting with $1 million to people in the Bronx for UBI for emergency, funding. I don't know how far that's really going to go, but something.
Yeah. Well,
and I just wonder. I also was wondering maybe Tulsi got called back into the National Guard and she has to go. I really don't know. I just made that up. But didn't it sound good?
Well, I think that Tulsi probably. I don't think she has to go. I think she's in a position where she can go, where she can say this isn't a good time for me or whatever. But she seems like the kind of person that wouldn't hesitate to go, and especially in a time where she's really needed. So.
Yes, indeed, I would agree. All right, honey. Well, you have a great night.
It's so nice to hear from you.
I will go and pop back into the chat.
Okay, well, look forward to hearing your lovely voice again sometime soon, okay?
Oh, thanks, honey. Have a great night.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's our buddy Jackie Cat from Florida. And I'm glad we got that call in. No wonder Craig was taking his time getting the phone to me. I was like, I think I hear Craig talking. I think he's got a phone call. And then, he could have been talking to someone else about his stuff. And I was like, no, he's talking to Jackie Cat. I was surprised I couldn't hear her voice. So let's go, you know what? Let's call it a night. I'm good. Jackie Cat's phone call makes it good for me. So, and I'm glad that we end on a positive note for Tulsi Gabbard and some understanding of why it is that she's done what it is that she's done, and knowing that it would be it's still, even though she did this thing, she did do it half-heartedly, and she didn't say go vote for Joe. So, and it is a contract that she signed, and so she's just fulfilling her contract, just as Bernie Sanders did in 2016. So, and it would be the idea of her as vice president or secretary of defense or secretary of state, really is super appealing. So, I mean, it would be amazing to see her representing America around the world as Secretary of State, or as Joe Biden's vice president, who is a feeble old man with clear signs of early onset dementia. So he won't be around but unfortunately, Joe Biden is unelectable. So this dream about Tulsi Gabbard being, actually I could see Trump making her something, because Trump does seem to really appreciate where she's coming from and a lot of the things that she has to say. So that being said, here we are at the end of our Wake and Bake News this evening. Thanks so much for tuning in. It just would be meaningless without you. So that's the value that you give to our show. And all you regulars, I can't thank you enough, because otherwise I'd just be sitting here by myself. So thanks a bunch. And all the new people, it's very nice to have you on board. We look forward to seeing you again soon. We do this each and every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So we will be here tomorrow, same Mox time, same Mox channel. And I hope we see you there. And always remember, until then, stay cool, because one of these days, this war is going to end. So stay cool until that day.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.